everybody, and welcome to the last episode of the Neverending Train. I am Kai, your DM, who is going to do their utter best to not kill everybody, who is a player here. That said, would our players like to introduce themselves before they die?
Thanks for that.
I love you.
Note. Cool. Hi, I'm Modmad. I'm playing the engineer who's currently Oscar, I think, but he's going to try and become the engineer again soon, very soon.
He was the engineer for a moment. And that
but that was like original mad, bad, and dangerous to know engineer, which is not what we're aiming for.
Hi everyone, I'm Cartoon Kitsune, also known as Kit, and I will be beating a man to death with a stuffed animal, and that stuffed animal is Minty.
I do hope Minty doesn't, hurt herself, throwing herself repeatedly at this man, but...
I took a sip of water at the wrong time.
She can handle it.
No, squishy's not a good thing.
Squishy's excellent. Means less bruises.
Yeah.
And finally,
hi, I'm Mock. I'm playing Benjamin Herman Boingo Higgins, and he's also here to beat a man to death, or more likely just throw things at him until he keels over.
I wish you all luck. I love your spirit. I appreciate the bullshit you're going to have to put up with me in this game. Also, just before we begin, I do want to say if anyone needs a break at any point for any reason, just say, and we can pause for a bit, and you can breathe and go get snacks or anything like that. Because we are all tense as fuck over this whole thing, and if at all possible, I would like to try and keep things a tad more chill, just so no one dies of a heart attack. That said, where we left off was you could hear the voice of a bastard. You don't know him as anything other than father. You don't really know what's been going on, but you've just kind of heard the voice ringing around this giant stage. We can fix that, can't we? What do you three want to do?
Oh, I already said Higgs has thrown something. It is in the air in bullet time as we were paused
Whoa.
for the day. So,
where are you fucking aiming it? Because you can't see anyone.
Wherever there was a spot where the voice is coming from all over, but the clapping was coming from one spot, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was coming from the wings and everything. All right, if you want to toss it for the wings, roll an attack with disadvantage because you can't see what you're throwing at.
So much for spinning our wheels before starting initiative, Higgs.
Listen,
So much for buying time for tatters, Higgs.
I said this at the end of last time when I was very in it. So
I'm still
this is
saying
very in character reaction. He's throwing, so it's dexterity, right?
It's whatever your general attack roll with these sorts of potions is. I believe that's dex though.
I actually was gonna say he's just thrown whatever, maybe like a drumstick from the orchestra.
Just throw an entire trumpet at this man.
Also
which he
valid.
does now have proficiency with. I reworked his character sheet a little bit.
Proficiency with drumsticks?
Improvised thrown weapons.
I mean, which is pretty helpful. That's
14 and
14s.
Dice Sparsus said 14 and only 14.
Yep.
This is the point where I would love to tell you it hits. It doesn't. I'm really sorry, because this guy just put on mage armor.
Fuck.
But yeah, good news is I will say it hits close enough that when it tacks against the ground, you do kind of hear the shuffle of feet moving to dodge it, because even if you've missed, now you more or less know where this guy is. Does anyone else want to kind of do anything real quick, or shall I continue here?
I'll do a thing. So Minty's gonna kind of turn in that direction. She hears the shuffling and say, "Oh, so there you are. So what should we call you? 'Cause at the moment we only know you as father, and well, I think you've more than proven that you don't deserve that title."
And the invisibility spell drops, and in front of you, you see a rather tall half-elf man. Higgs, this guy would be familiar to you, but the other two is rather new. And he just goes, "Ah, yes, forgive my rudeness." And he makes a small, rather mocking bow, never once taking his eyes off you as he leans down. "My name is Lord Marinos Klimek. I'd say it's a pleasure to meet you, but I'd be lying."
I'm afraid someone isn't going to pay attention to that moment. There's a huge amount of heat coming your guys' way from this person next to you.
Oh dear.
It's not just from the
definitely does,
sword.
without taking his eyes off this guy, hand you the flaming sword back that he just took from you.
Oh yeah, I forgot I did that. Okay, thank you.
It's just as this is.
Yeah. After certain events here, I decided I would and could no longer call myself by a name that I've been known best by. I decided that until I had done something worthy of the title, that I would go by another and work towards that prize, no matter how long it took. Perhaps it's still hubris to aim for such a lofty goal, but you who have been given the name of Father, how dare you? How dare you take a name that is so of high a station and then just throw it away? That automaton gave you a title so noble, so imbued with love and duty and the sense of care and protection, when you yourself are the antithesis of those things. You who are negligent, idle, cruel, and absent. You are no father, and I don't care what your name is. In fact, I just thought of the perfect name for you. Defect. You abandoned your duty, you brought a blight upon the lives of those aboard this train and caused a machine as marvelous and sophisticated as this to fail. Defected is what you did, and a defect is what you are.
Throughout all of that, he was just standing there, watching you kind of out of the corner of his eyes as he kind of checks his fingernails, flicks a tiny bit of dirt out from under them, dusts some lint and everything off his cloak, and just kind of waits for you calmly, patiently, as you go on this little rant. When you finally settle, he looks up and just goes, "Was that it?"
Aye, but you know what an engineer does to defects, don't you?
Well, I would hardly call you an engineer anymore now, would I? You've hardly been calling it yourself.
I mean, he already explained that. He's not even going to reply to that shit. Someone do something before he actually just leaps on this guy, which is highly inadvisable right now.
Can Minty have a turn?
Yes, please.
All right. Minty kind of like she takes like a step forward and clears her throat. With all due respect, sir, what the heck is wrong with you? You left your creation, your child, all alone in the engine to do your job, just so you could explore the train? And you didn't even set it up so they could properly do that job. Half the stuff in there is blocked off for them, so now the whole train is a big mess. This train is supposed to help people overcome their problems, but because you decided to go off exploring instead of doing your job, that's not happening anymore. In fact, all it is doing is traumatizing people even further. Some people like Engie have been trapped on here for a whole year, or even longer than that. Higgs stayed in isolation for one carriage for I don't know how long, which clearly just made him close off from others even more. I watched my friend fall from a tower and die, and that's just our group. Who knows what all the other passengers have had to go through? And don't even get me started on Alex, who, need I remind you, you abandoned. You just left them all alone in that engine room with no idea how to keep everything running properly. And even if they did know, they were physically incapable of doing it anyway because they were locked out of everything. They were set up to fail from the moment you left. You picked up a perfectly good robot. That's what you did. Look at them. They've got anxiety.
So much.
Sorry.
Right. People like you disgust me. Selfish, neglectful, so wrapped up in themselves that they'll just toss aside their own children and not even care what happens to them. But a parent is one of the most important people in a child's life. Practically their whole world. And I've spent centuries fixing the kids that people like you break, teaching them that it's not their fault the one who's supposed to care for them didn't. So I don't want to hear any of your excuses. You are going to go right back to the engine, apologize to Alex, and fix the mess that you caused. Got it?
I think it's a bit late for that. Did you have one? And he gestures vaguely towards Higgs.
I might as well. You strike me as kind of a smart guy, yeah?
He just kind of gives a shrug.
Train, got all kinds of presumably evil schemes. What are you after? Power, money, looking for attention. I get that one. But I am legitimately curious as to why you're doing all this. Like, screw all those other people. They don't, whatever. They don't matter too much, I guess, in the long run, since you're obviously so powerful, and you know, what are we gonna do to you? But would you indulge my curiosity?
knowledge, frankly. Unlimited carriages, unlimited experiences, unlimited new things to learn. So, I've been here, learning, for a long time. Thank you for being someone with intelligent thing to say. As for the other two of you, was there anything else that you wanted to do here? Or I could send you home if you wanted? Or was there more of the whole I'm coming for you thing?
Nah, I think we've said our piece. We're just gonna kick your butt and drag you back to the engine now.
Good luck.
I'm just gonna make a quick whiz save right now. 10. Ah, shit. Like, if he had a straight brain, which he does not right now, he would be sort of thinking like they need to play for time. They need to like keep
That's
this
what
going
Higgs
as long
was
as
doing.
possible because yeah, I know, but my god, he hates this guy so much. There was one thing though that irritated him, and he says, I am aware that I'm going to regret asking this because I am certain at this point it is not out of your compassionate understanding that it might be too late for an apology, but what did you mean by it's too late for that?
Well, what is the point in apologising to an inanimate heap of gears?
Okay, guys, if you've listened to that game where Engie kind of like had a different sort of breakdown than the usual one, you guys have never seen him turn black, but he has. This is effectively he's cast what the hell is it actually called? Blur on himself because he's gone into that incredibly cold sort of anger. So he's not gone into a rage, which he might have, but this is like the oh my god. So yeah, he's done that now, and he's about to do something else.
Yeah, Minty doesn't cast anything, but she looks freaking pissed right now. Like, you have never seen this bunny look that angry before.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine at this point the engineer is probably taking up quite a sizable amount of attention.
Yeah.
Would this be an appropriate time for Higgs to try to sneak away?
Sure.
I imagine he's about to jump, so at that point Higgs will do this. But
you are going to need to roll stealth.
yes.
Ah, okay.
I am. See now the question.
I mean, we didn't start yet, but yeah.
See now the question.
I was gonna say, because Engie's distracting him right now, could that possibly be an argument for advantage?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Ooh, thank you. Please, Dysa, please.
Oh,
one
come on.
Okay.
What I'm going to
One
do
higher.
at this point, and I might regret this later, is spend my 1 point of inspiration that I have.
Yay!
A good
Get
choice.
away.
Because this guy has a passive perception of 20, so that was the mark you were up
Good.
against.
What?
Wow.
So yeah, okay, yeah, using that would be, like, I would have given you a chance if you had rolled 15 or higher to maybe get there, not with those rolls, but using your inspiration point for a nat 20, that, yeah, no, Engie, I'm guessing, is just so absolutely livid here. There is magical sparks kicking off him. Higgs, you're small enough and unobtrusive enough that you could easily kind of sneak by, maybe duck underneath the curtain and get backstage if you wanted.
I do this. Should we? Are we?
Meanwhile, there's
following
just a
Higgs for
cardboard cutout of
moment, or
Higgs
are
next to
we-
us.
I think,
I mean,
let's follow Higgs for a moment and then go back to the absolute ruckus the other two are causing, shall we?
Okay. I don't know if we're going to do like initiative at any point.
For now, tell you what, Engie, were you about to attack?
absolutely.
Okay, in that case, yeah, so everyone roll initiative for now, and I've actually got a bunch of them to roll. Yay!
Hooray.
Woohoo!
Baby.
Alright, so I think the moment that you light up Engie, that's kind of when this fight starts. And Marinos doesn't actually do anything. He just kind of goes like, Before things kick off, I think there's someone I'd love for you to meet. Again, really, but I've made a couple of redesigns. And you can hear the clack, 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 clack of metal against the wooden floorboards as something huge shifts behind the curtain. And the stewardess appears. And
Oh, good.
Engineer, while you have encountered her before, and she was she was pretty huge. She was minimum 4 times your height and could probably have gone tall if you wanted. You see her now, you see her looming over this rather tall man as is, and she looks like she has more than doubled in size. And Marinos kind of just gestures up at her. I do hope you like the improvements I've made. And the stewardess is actually going to dash forward while Marinos just stands there. And she's going to take a stab at you, Engie, because you look like you're gonna be the most difficult thing to deal with.
Well, I used the wrong thing. I should have gone with rage. However, you are at disadvantage.
I mean, I feel like that might have been raging what you did, is all.
I mean, if
yeah, but I said blur, so I cast blur.
Sorry. Okay, well, good news is, first blow doesn't hit, and does the 16 hit?
Oh my gosh! Okay, so you see this guy go into this kind of weird blurry state, and it's like someone's left all the layers on when they're onion skinning, and somehow, the things that this colossal monster hits are just the after images or the pre-images? You're not sure, but neither of them hit!
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
In that case, the stewardess ends her turn right next to you. She is a mechanically huge construct, and in that case, Engie, you're next.
Right.
What am I talking about?
Nope.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess it's natural to say that the flame tongue sword is going to be what he is attacking with.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a pile of horse shit. That is terrible. Let's try again.
I guess it would.
Nope.
No.
Oh, wow.
Ow. I mean,
Dice Box or why?
what the hell? I can't change it.
I think...
Hang on, wait. I mean, I do have... Please be honest with me here, Kai. Would a D6 Bardic Inspiration do anything, even if I rolled a 6?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna
Roll
try.
that die.
Please be a 6.
Yep, that's enough. That is enough for it to hit.
Yeah.
Great, okay, so he's going to use Booming Blade, because my god, I need something. So the way this works is... I actually got it slightly wrong last time because I didn't read it properly. So it does this amount of damage, and if the stewardess moves after this, it will also inflict another 2d8 thunder damage. So please remind me if she moves. 20 damage.
20 damage is pretty good. 20 damage is you I reckon with this you managed to slice through 2 of her metal tentacles as she lifts them up to try and defend herself, and with your rage and with the help that Minty has given you, you managed to just slice straight through them, and they clunk clunk down to the ground. A couple of little metal gears that have been sliced in half clash after them. And was there anything else that you wanted to do or could do?
Nah, I mean, he really kind of wanted to attack the guy, but this is apparently what they're attacking right now, and it is a very big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and he's in this kind of silent, seething fury, so he isn't saying anything, which is kind of scary because he's the guy who talks all the time.
All right. In that case, Higgs, on to you. How are you doing backstage?
Oh, you know. Is Expeditious Retreat an action?
I think it's a bonus action, and then it's like you can use your bonus action each turn to do the dash, is kind of like how it works.
And you can use it on the turn you cast it on. So.
Yeah.
He goes Noom, and he's gonna go Noom. Higgs did a lot of looking around with that investigation. Does he know where there's like a ladder?
Yeah, there are a couple of ladders scattered about. Some they lead up into the rafters where a lot of the lighting is strung, so you could get up there pretty easily.
He's trying to get up to the control panel.
Alright, the control panel that you
up?
saw before wasn't actually up in the rafters or anything, it was just on ground level next, like, one of the sides of the stage, so you could get to it just by going zoom.
He's gonna do that then.
Okay, roll me...
And he's gonna maybe take a turn to study it?
Yep, yeah, roll me investigation. Let's see how well...
Do that smart thing, do the smart thing.
That's
with
a 10.
the 10, okay.
It's not horrible.
I think what you manage with that is you have a look at this, because there are labels on some of them. The ones that there are labels on are mostly the lighting. Like, okay, yep, that's forward stage right. That one there is a spotlight, and oh, yep, that little one next to it controls the direction that the spotlight points in, and it's like, so you managed to figure out the lighting reasonably well. There's still a lot of other switches on this panel that you don't know what they do.
Do we have a fog machine?
Not with a 10.
Oh,
all right.
You would have to spend your next action studying it as well, sadly.
Provides
that
what you
is
got.
his turn.
Yep, alright. Minty, how are you doing?
I mean, she's still pissed right now, a little bit scared because big spaghetti monster. So, but yeah, so Higgs is more than 30 feet away from her at this point, right?
Yeah, you probably don't even know where he went.
Yeah, no, Higgs
Yeah,
just
okay.
fucking vanished.
In that case, Minty is going to cast Shield of Faith on the engineer.
Ooh,
So
what did it
that
do?
gives you a +2, I believe. Yeah, +2 to your AC.
Oh, hell yes.
Nice.
She is also going to cast Spiritual Weapon, and she can attack with that on the same turn. So the Spectral Yarn Ball appears once again.
Who are you aiming this at? Or Marinos or the stewardess?
Because the stewardess is kind of between him and us right now. So yeah she's going to aim for the stewardess. 13?
That just hits. Sadly, while she got
Yeah.
big, she also got wound up with a shitty armor class.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, roll
Loads
damage.
of hit points, though.
All right.
2 damage.
Ooh.
Well, 3 damage.
Well, 3, sorry. Whatever it
What
is,
did
2.
we do to Dice Passer to deserve this
I
treatment?
don't know.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe how this bonkage goes, or do you want to just...
Yeah, no, she, like, swings the yarn ball at its head at full force, and it just goes bonk. It's a very light bonk.
It's like the painted white mask, like metal mask of her is just kind of thunk. So like she kind of glances up at a second, the flames from her eyes kind of coming up and like attempting to catch the yarn ball on fire, but it's a spectral weapon, so it doesn't really work. And she just turns her gaze back down on you. And now we're back to the top of the order, back to Marinos, the bastard. I have so many names to call this fucker if I wanted to. But for now, there's actually going to be another thing happening. A moment of silence after this initial bonk in which you hear something that kind of sounds like an echo. Because it's something thunking pretty hard against metal, but not doing much. And then you hear it again. And echoes don't tend to get louder each time they happen. And then half the roof caves in above the audience and a giant chunk of metal just crunch. And there is person after person, toon, real kind, couple of Muppets. You've got everyone from all sorts of walks of life coming down on ropes, jumping down onto the ground into this carriage. And you can hear coming up from the roof going, Mr. Ward, we're on our way. And Tatterdemalion swings in and joins the initiative order.
Holy shit, yeah, Tatters! Oh my gosh.
Tatters joins in at the
Great.
very end of the initiative order. Always
Perfect,
wonderful.
just with the rest of us.
Amazing.
We're doing continuous bad rolls, but at least we're trying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I do love to see that Dice Passer isn't just hating you guys, it is hating anyone that is going against this bastard, like everyone included, including Tatters.
Control your dice?
Why?
What the hell?
And as Marinos watches this, he just sighs and kind of like rubs at his eyes and goes like, Dear, go take care of that, would you please? And when it gets to the stewardess's turn, she kind of like looks around at Marinos, looks at the giant pile of people that are swarming over the audience seats, and clack, 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 heads off. And they are going to do their whole big battle over there. Engie.
She takes an extra 11 thunder damage while she does it.
Thank you, I'll note that down. All right, Engie, it's your turn. Guess what? Marinos is unguarded.
Super duper wonderful good. I wonder if I can fucking hit him this time.
Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, that's a nat 20! Nat 20! I'm gonna do the booming blade on that one, because why would I not? I roll 16 worth of damage. That is the worst. Oh
Well,
my god. Okay,
I will
but I got to attack again.
Can
Oh, that's better.
with
Hang on.
Oh,
with that
wait a
Yeah,
sec.
sure.
first one, can you actually please make a wisdom saving throw?
There we
Are you
go.
Oh, no.
serious? Okay, fine. I mean, yeah, I'm keeping that attack roll because I want to be able to hit the second time. 20.
All right. Good news is, well, actually, wait, no shit. You know what? With a fucking 20, I'm saying you pass. Fuck this guy. He wasn't paying attention, therefore his spell doesn't work properly. You can tell that this guy, as you went to swing your sword for the first time to land that 8 damage, you can feel something quickly stabbing into your brain, and your body kind of gets the urge to turn around and aim this attack at Minty instead. But thankfully, because you've already just experienced all that bullshit, you're not gonna do it again, and you do indeed land that 8 damage on the bastard.
Thank you. Phew.
16, because it's doubled.
Oh boy.
It was a nat 20.
16, yes. 16, yeah.
Oh yes,
That
true.
is the lowest amount of damage I've ever rolled for a crit hit, but never mind. So I did roll a 22 for the second attack. Does that hit as well?
Yes. Alright, with that, yeah, he's definitely... You see him kind of take half a step back as you hit him, and he holds up his cane to try and half deflect it, but it doesn't work, and so he takes this damage. And then he just kind of stands up straighter, and before he kind of just looked bored, now he's looking very mildly ticked off. Higgs, do you want to have another go at figuring out what the heck you're doing?
Do I have anything to, like, help me with this? Not really.
Not really. This is going to be...
hang on, wait, hang on, wait. Where'd that go?
What are you doing?
On tentacles.
Can I? Can I, before I do this... Drinking a potion is a bonus action, right?
You know what? I'm going to say, considering, like, you've still got Expeditious Retreat, you're on Zoomies, I'm going to act it like you're on Fast Forward, which means, yes, you can drink a potion and do an action if you want.
Excellent. I would like to take a sip of my wizard beard oil.
Yes!
Or, well, I guess apply it? I don't know.
Higgs, you have a beard again.
Which gives me a +1 to all int and whiz checks.
Yep, okay, so you get an extra +1 to this roll.
That's for disguises, but I do get that +1, and I'm gonna use it.
24! Nice! Okay, with that,
Very good.
you now know exactly what is in order on this. Okay, you got the lights before. Okay, you understand. Here's the rest of it. And you get full access to audio controls, special effects, when the trapdoors should open, when a walkway from the ceiling should lower down so that people walking across there can get it, and what I am certain you are searching for, the smoke machine.
Yeah, baby. Smoke and mirrors.
Can I
It's the
smash
theater.
that this round, or should I wait another one?
You can absolutely smash it this round, and smoke will start billowing out across the stage.
Excellent. I do this.
And I will say, because this is something we did vaguely plan behind the scenes, now, because you're all so tiny, you guys are going to have advantage on stealth checks, and Marinos is going to have disadvantage on any direct attacks on you guys, specifically targeting you rather than just area effect type things. Because hard to see you guys now, because you're all so tiny.
Yeah.
Minty, on to you.
All right, Minty's turn. First off, she's gonna swing that spiritual weapon for a bonus action.
It does not hit.
That does, yeah, I figured. All right.
It glances off his magical shield.
All right, what else? Wait, I've got it. Okay, she has Word of Radiance, so I'm gonna do that. So he has to make a Constitution save.
What does she say? Her word of radiance.
She says, "Stop it!
Oh,
I love her.
Shame on you!
Shame. Shame.
Shame!"
Well, good news is Constitution is not one of the things he's fantastic at, and that's only a 9.
wow!
Hey, all right. So he's gonna take 2d6 radiant damage, I believe.
7, not
That's
bad.
Not great, but it's still damage.
That's exactly average.
Okay, that is her turn.
With that, then, it's actually Tatters is up, and she's going to hop over several seats and land right next to you, and she's like, "Well, hello, Miss Minty. It's glad to see you guys again, and not so glad to see you in this particular position, but I reckon now we're together we can handle this, right?"
Yeah, good to see you too, Tatters. Glad you made it here, okay?
I think first thing that she's actually gonna do is cast Spirit Guardians, and she's gonna go all out and use like one of the best spells she can right at the beginning, because you know what? It would be helpful to have one fucking safe space for you guys to come back to. So she just holds her paws out, and a shimmering wall of light filled with lots of glittering little fairies that do look closer, and they're tiny little muppets, and they look rather dorky, but but from a distance, as you're kind of zoomed out, they've got that wonderful like VHS halo sort of effect around them. And this is gonna be, you know, a safe space for you guys to come to. Higgs, she doesn't actually know you, and she doesn't actually know you're there.
No, yeah. That's the point. I don't want anyone to know I'm here.
So you might want to not come in here. But yeah, you guys actually have a nice little safe space around you for now, and I think she's sadly used up her movement, but she can keep this up for a while. And we're back to the top, and you've pissed him off, so he's going to be really mean. I think for now, what he's actually going to do is he's not going to do anything that's going to do any sort of damage, but he waves his cane, and while he is technically a very high-level artificer, he's much more adept at using wizard spells, and he's gonna cast Elemental Bane on you, Engie.
Oof.
Does anyone want to roll to see how if you know what the fuck that is or what the fuck happened? Roll me Arcana if you are watching this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna try. Like,
Yeah,
he's not in the right state to, and he's -9.
That's a 6.
That's a 6. Okay, yeah. Oh wait, I should do Tatters, shouldn't I?
There we go.
Yes.
Higgs with the brain cell.
Higgs is just much better.
That's what he's
Sadly,
good at.
Tatters doesn't know much more than Minty. But Higgs, as you kind of look to the side, you can see out across stage and you can see the pattering of these super pale blue bits of shining magic just fall down over Engie and cling to him. And yeah, you recognize that as Elemental Bane. And you recognize that as specifically cold damage Elemental Bane. Which means that if Engie gets hit by any sort of cold damage, he's gonna take an extra 2d6 damage on top of what the initial damage was as well.
Now this is, I did establish last game, Higgs does not know about this weakness.
Yep.
Mhm.
Specifically.
gonna.
I mean, he'll know
He's gonna
about it in a
very soon.
moment, presumably.
Yep, he's
Um,
gonna know real soon. And I think that's all he's really planning on doing. Otherwise, he's just standing there, and we pan over to the stewardess, who is fighting off close to 100 passengers who joined Tatters in this whole quest, marching down the train, and have now jumped down, and there are so many people just swarming over this giant, many-legged creature, and you guys can see lab coat flying as Doc Acne swings by, launching a firework at the stewardess, and cackling as it explodes in a satisfying shower of purple sparks. And right after those fireworks go off, you hear another thing. You hear the loudest noise, except you don't actually hear it because your eardrums get shattered as Carriage casts Shatter using the air horn that she has recently picked up, and you can hear vaguely in the distance the vague sounds of Vengabus. Meanwhile, there is Josiah, who kind of like paused for a second after first landing on the ground and watching the ruckus start to emerge. And then he starts screaming a stream of legalese at every single violation of bureaucratic law that he can spot, each pig Latin word burning with radiance against the stewardess's skin, and while she swipes and bashes and hits everybody that she can, with so many people that she's going against, there's only so much that she can do. And Engie, we are back to you.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm just so happy, my girl, Dog Acne. I mean, you're all great, but let's face it, I have a huge crush on Dog Acne. She's just so
Because
great.
she's so good. She's perfect in every way.
You're not wrong.
Just before we carry on, like, because I need to like get into my brain whether this stacks or not, because he has blur, which gives people disadvantage to hit him, and they're also in fog. Does that mean like it'll take like 3 rolls to hit him?
No, disadvantage
No.
doesn't stack in the same way that advantage doesn't stack, sadly. On the other hand, it does mean that you can, like, reliably drop blur now, and you'll still be good with, not getting hit.
Tell you what, I'm gonna do a whiz save to see like what happens to his state of brain, considering quite a lot has just happened. Okay, 20.
Ooh.
I feel like this is folly, but I'm gonna drop it. So he kind of gets shaken out of his haze, like this sort of very literally black state of mind, because he hears a voice that like he was waiting to hear. And Tatters, you see this this silhouette sort of just disappear from him, and he is glowing as bright as the sun. He's so happy to see you guys. Oh my goodness! But there's also a sort of the party has started smile on his face. And the engineer would like to rage.
Yeah.
So just gonna swap out the whole magic for the. Okay, let's just hit a thing.
Look, it works.
We're just gonna hit him with a big sword.
Oh, 15 doesn't hit because he's still got fucking mage armor up, sorry.
Yeah, never mind. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
okay,
God.
well, this is depressing. He swings twice and misses. I don't know what else to tell you, unless you've got a reason why.
I think it's the sort of thing where you can feel it getting close, and even if like you are just swinging with your sword, the first one you swing and it glances off. With the second one, you press in close, aiming for this guy's fucking head, and instead of it glancing off, you are trying to push it in closer and push it in closer, and you can see the flames of your swords crackling mere millimeters from this smug bastard's skin. and then whatever magic that he is using to shield himself pulses and your sword goes flying off, and you get pushed back just a tiny bit. Like, not enough that it works mechanically, but enough that it looks really cool, as sadly your attacks don't work. Higgs, how are you doing?
Oh, how is he fucking doing? I'm torn between whether I should just leave this on and like go from this point, or
I mean, like, the fog machines will keep working on their own, but yeah, it is the sort of thing where what happens when there gets to be too much fog, but that's a problem for another time.
That's not his problem right now. There's a lot of other shit going on that could be his problem right now.
I mean, Higgs did roll really well last time on trying to understand it. Like, are there other things on this control panel?
There are lots of other things. What sort of thing would you be looking for, though? What, like, there's anything that you could imagine should be there for, like, the special effects box, like, on a fancy stage, but...
What? Where is he on the stage?
You're basically out in the wings. You can see onto the stage, but it's from a little bit of a distance, and so you can see what's been going on, but you're in the wings.
Where's good old Mary on the stage?
He is, yeah, I think he's on the opposite side from you, because if you'd gone closer to him, you probably would have been spotted. So he's probably, call it 60 feet away.
I think Higgs is, because he's still going pretty fast, I think he's going to leave this area for now. He is going to try to climb up a ladder.
All right.
And does that count as movement?
Yeah, I would say that's movement.
Maybe his bonus action for dashing?
Yeah, if you want. You can you can move 30 feet then, if you want to just use your bonus action.
Yeah, we'll do that, just because I want him to be up in the rafters and, like, kind of above this dude.
Alright, yeah. You can't get fully above him, because basically you use your dash action to go up the ladder, and then your movement to move 30 feet, and then you'd be standing in, like, right above the middle of the stage.
Sure. And I'm casting this, whatever, from my position, but I want to flavor it as Higgs takes a potion and then kind of chucks it forward, and I'm going to cast Chaos Bolt.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh. Yes! Love that spell.
Love me Chaos Bolt.
These are all the same on the D8.
25.
Nice! Yep, that hits.
Ooh.
I hope so.
Solid. So I'm going to roll 2d8 and a d6.
Also, if the 2d8s are the same, it, like, bounces, so you can cast it at someone else.
Alright, so it's a total of 11. D8 are... The 2 is cold, the 6 is poison. I don't know if this guy has any specific weaknesses, at least, like, elementally. I don't think so.
That's more on brand for Higgs out of those two. I have a feeling.
See, the thing is, he's not really a poisoner. He's... Yeah. I'm gonna go for poison anyway, because I'd rather not have much cold damage going on around there. Even if Higgs doesn't know that Engie has a specific weakness to it, he does recognize that that spell is not good, and even though he's confident that he's not gonna hit him,
better safe than sorry.
We're safe about it. What if this guy's got, like, some kind of deflection action? I don't know. But he's gonna take 11 poison damage.
Alright. Yeah, I think this hits him basically in the head as your potion falls on him. And he was not expecting that. Excuse you. Rude. And it's basically the poison seeps into him, and you can feel him kind of shudder as it goes through his system. And Minty, onto you.
Alright, so I think Minty's just going to do the same thing she did last turn, so we'll start off with Spiritual Weapon.
Ooh, that hits. 4 damage.
Alright. Okay, and then I've got another Word of Radiance, so once again she says, "Shame on you!" And he needs to make a con save.
That's an 18.
Unfortunately that passes.
Alright, then it's on to Tatters, who can't do any other concentration spells because she's still keeping up that thing, but you know what she can do? She can basically run forwards because the spirits flit around specifically her. So if she gets this bastard into its area, he needs to make a wisdom saving throw. Bad news is he has got a +10 to those.
Nat one.
17! Sorry.
How dare.
Which is, yeah, that's enough that he is unaffected. Creature that still takes half damage, which...
I was gonna say, yeah. I know a certain goose who has that spell, so yeah, it's good.
It's gonna be another 7 damage as these tiny little Muppet fairies bite at his ear.
Death by Muppet.
And then we're back onto this fucker, Gods, who is just going to.
And then there's this a-hole.
Yeah, pretty much. First time. See, the problem is now he's actually, because he's still in this area and he has to start his turn there, he has to make another fucking wisdom save.
Yes.
Oh my god. Yes!
Hey!
Oh my god,
No, we did it!
Your chanting worked. Oh,
We believed hard enough.
Came through.
God.
Clap. Everybody clap.
And of course it's only
What?
4 damage.
Oh my goodness,
course.
again with these things.
So he's not too happy about that. And I think the thing that he's going to do is cast Sleet Storm. And he's
Oh boy.
going to do it pretty much directly in front of him, which is going to catch Higgs. You are thankfully just out of this, but if you actually kind of look down, you can see clouds like directly below your feet on the walkway that you're on.
I was
But
gonna
yeah.
ask, does Tatters have a vertical element? How high does her thing go?
Oh god, let me double check.
I don't
Sorry,
know.
that occurred to me.
It's just a flit around you for a distance of 15 feet, so no, you're safe from that as well.
But
Yeah.
it's not like up.
No. I'm guessing it's
Alright.
15 feet up, but yeah, you're like, you are 20 feet in the air, pretty much exactly.
Excellent.
40-foot radius, centered on the point you choose within range. This is going to get absolutely everyone. The area is heavily obscured. It was already that anyway, thanks to the fog machine, and exposed flames in the area are doused. I don't think this actually includes your sword, Engie, because that's also a magical thing, but it does make everything ice.
Whoa.
Everyone's going to need to make a dex saving throw to make sure you don't fucking fall on your butt.
Oh, fun.
Do have advantage on those, thank goodness.
And if a creature is concentrating in the spell's
God.
area, the creature must make a successful
on.
con saving throw. So both Minty and Tatters need to do that.
That's 12.
12 and 22 from
That's for a
Tatters. What the
dex.
Nice.
Yeah, 12 on our
Tatters with the
decks, and
powerhouse.
then a con,
Alright, 12.
and 11 for a
cons.
con.
Yeah, that's
not great.
enough for con. I need to do Minty. I'm sorry, I need to do Tatters dex. What the Tatters MVP with these rolls here today. Okay,
Yes, Tatters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Minty, your spiritual weapon is gone. Tatters is not.
Actually, yeah, spiritual weapon is
so I'm
not
done.
concentration, but Shield of Faith is. So unfortunately, Engie loses his 2 AC that he got.
Ah, well,
Didn't
pity.
even get to use it. Dang it. Never mind. I appreciate it anyway.
So, what have we got? That's going to be the end of that then. Tatters is still on her feet. Engie, you're still on your feet. We've still got the fucking fairies flitting about everywhere. And now everything is very slippery because there's fucking sleet everywhere. Next up, we are back to the stewardess going on in the background.
Now-
Hell yeah.
Woohoo!
Like,
Can I just
Which spell was that?
wait, can I just say, like, I feel bad for doing this, but Kai, I feel like you did that in order for him to get away, but you didn't actually move him.
No, he was just gonna I was hoping you'd fall over and then he was gonna stab you next round.
Okay. Fine, ignore me. I just wanted to be sure because, you know.
Don't worry. Again, he's got to. Oh, actually, Because the problem is he can't get away anywhere that you can't just catch up to him. So there's kind of no point to him doing
No
that.
escape! No escape!
Pretty much. He's just gonna hang out here on the edge of the... Alright, so as this water pours onto the stage, the camera kind of steps off the stage a little bit, flicks the water driplets off it, and pans back over to the absolute ruckus that is going on in the fucking audience. Holy hell. You've got Colin hiding just behind Cacao, like shooting from his crossbow and cheering from his friends in between reloading. Meanwhile, Cacao is going absolutely fucking feral, wielding a paint bucket as a makeshift weapon and whacking the stewardess with all his might. Right next to him, stand Sigil and Hugh back to back. One of them shooting fire and lightning fucking everywhere, and the other shooting lightning and fucking fire everywhere. And it is an absolute mess as we pan back to you, Engie. How are you doing?
He's wet and cold.
Yep. Not as
However,
cold as you
he's
will
also-
be.
No, that's true. He's also quite toasty warm because, gosh, he's still raging. So, like, you know,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
he's steaming. He's quite literally smoldering right now. Oh, okay. Oh, gosh, I wish I could decide, like, whether to just keep doing the sensible thing or do something really awful but kind of funny. I'm gonna ask you guys, which would you prefer?
Awful but funny.
Awful but
Funny.
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 Awful but funny, cool.
We're tuned.
Okay.
Tunes.
It's true. We are toons. And what are we if we're not funny but awful? Okay, so yeah, he just sort of glowers up at this guy. He says, you know, the thing that I actually hate the most is when you talk. And he's gonna try and bite him in the throat.
Get it?
Yes, please.
Go full feral.
Oh.
You know what? You know fucking what? I'm gonna use my inspiration point.
No. I was gonna say, no, I'll tell you what. I was actually gonna give you advantage just because this is so fucking unexpected.
Okay. Thank you. I will take that. Okay, I'm still gonna use the
inspiration point. That is then.
Nice, Potter. What is the matter with you?
Nice.
Okay, cool. That was max damage. Finally, so that's 24.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Fucking 4?
Yeah, that's.
And that was his first attack.
That was attack number 1.
Oh
God.
God.
I think in order to like latch on, because he really wants to just try and keep his teeth in there so that this guy can't talk anymore because it's just so annoying, you guys. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna like latch his talons into his back, and that's like a 2-handed thing. So I attack twice. Okay, that one's in. That one is
That one
in.
hits. That one hits. That one does not.
Boy.
Okay, fine. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
That
Okay,
one
there's
kind of gets
another-
caught in his robe more than anything else. But that's still.
Oh, actually, can I envision that, you know, like in order to really get his teeth in his neck, he's got hold of like the other side of his head.
Oh,
so
God,
he's like got his claws like just in this guy's face.
Yes,
on the other side.
fucking astounding.
Just
I'm
clinging
loving
to him.
this.
Oh.
Oh yeah, because that's a crit, right?
Yeah, don't worry, I've got that noted down. You guys are actually doing really well against this guy. To be fair, he's like, on one hand, he hasn't really been doing shit yet. On the other hand, you guys are doing really good.
I was gonna say we're doing better than I expected, like so far.
Despite Dice Passer completely dunking on us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Okay, Higgs, you're up next. How you doing up there? I will say, you can't see shit down there now. There is...
boy, really?
The sleet storm is in the way, so you're going to be at, like, a serious disadvantage for any aiming.
You can heckle.
And he's more than 20 feet above, or he is 20 feet above.
Yeah, it's going to be, and also because of everything that's going on, it's like, if you lob one down there, you are going to be at disadvantage to hit him, and if you miss, there's every chance you're going to hit someone else.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm aware of this. I have a question.
Yeah?
Could he potentially take out the stuffed baby alligator?
Yes, he could. If
Catch
you want...
it between the eyes, and my hope is that if he drops it, it'll still be kind of stuffed, and then it'll exist as an alligator.
It will
and he's basically just gonna whisper to it, attack the elf.
Okay. I want you to just roll me a straight d20 here to see how well this goes. I never actually wound up writing a stat block for this baby alligator.
It's an alligator stat.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. So, you scratch it between the eyes, and you can kind of hear it start. You can hear it start like shifting around a little bit as it starts waking up, and then you drop it, and it just falls down. And that 17 was basically there to see how well it would manage on the slippery floor. But you know what? It's got little claws, so it can kind of just like and scurry those across the stage. And it kind of just goes scurry, like, this is a boot. Is this the tall elf man? Do not know. You know what? This is a cool thing. Chomp.
I mean, I figure we can pick out like the tallest one, right? That's gotta be fair.
It's close enough. It's a bit of... Okay, again, I'm just gonna say, okay, it's not actually gonna do any damage.
Okay.
Because, like, it can't get through, like, the tough leather of this guy. They're like, well, no, he's a fucking wizard, he can't wear any armor. But no, he doesn't get through the magical armor that Marinos has around him.
Crocodiles have there's a crocodile stat, not an alligator stat, but they do have a melee weapon attack. It's a +4, but that's still not going to get that up there.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough. And also, like, this is a baby rather than full-grown one, so it would be lower than that anyway.
Yeah,
but
we didn't create the sheet, so we got to use what we have.
Yeah, but now, Marinos now has a baby alligator stuck to his leg.
Yep.
Even if you guys all die, I just want to congratulate you on managing to thoroughly humiliate him because he's got an alligator on his leg and an engineer on his throat.
Thank you.
This is beautiful. Thank you. Okay, Minty, you're up.
All right. Okay, so since she lost concentration on that other spell, she is going to cast Bless on Engineer and Tatters. That means that as long as she holds concentration on that, both of them can add a D4 to any of their attack rolls or saving throws.
You might want to move so you're not all in cone position.
True, yeah. I've kind of imagined her like being like not in range with Mr. Asshole. She's been like right behind the engineer, so I'm gonna have her like maybe back up a bit.
Well, actually, if you want to use your movement, you've got to use it to get to your feet first, because you fell on your butt.
Right, yeah, okay, so that's half her movement, and then she can move about 15 feet back.
Yeah, okay. In that case, yeah, you would be, call it 20 feet away from the guy now, if you were right behind the others. Alright, and that...
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
And I've also, one last thing for my bonus action, I've still got Spiritual Weapon, so smack him with that.
Yeah.
Getting bonked on the head with a giant yarn ball!
Oh, destroy this man's dignity.
Horrible time.
This is so good.
I told you, I'm gonna beat this man to death with a stuffed animal.
I'm loving every second of this, please no. No! Almost max damage. Okay, excellent.
Nice.
It is Tatta's go. She's still got her concentration up, so she can't really do much with that. But you know what she can do? While Engie is latched to this guy's throat, she can still get her rather heavily weighted handbag, which is a flavoured mace, and whack him over the head with it.
Yes! I love what I mean, this is just like a snowball of comedy.
I love this.
Just bonking him on the head with everything.
Be in, like, Just Cloud territory, right?
Oh, and it hits! And another 6 damage as it gets bonked. This is fucking astounding. I'm loving every second of this.
I declare this man Boo Boo the Fool.
I declare this man mechanically bloodied.
Oh.
Yeah!
I died
Emotionally is he bloodied?
Emotionally, very much so. Emotionally, he's also incredibly pissed off. And he's going to... so you know the whole sleet storm and everything? Suddenly it's not just sleet, it's not just cold and wet, it's actively icy as it turns into ice storm instead. And guess what? This is 40 foot high, so Higgs, you're getting roped into this well as the sleet starts to swirl upwards and including
rope
you.
Would have been a good idea to have, actually, now that you mention it.
Everyone make a dex saving throw. Okay.
I did give him a thing called duck and cover, which does give him proficiency in them. That's why he gets the +6 dex saving throws. But
it is sadly
didn't see it coming this time, to be honest.
No, you not see it coming. Not even Tatters manages to avoid it as this thing gets cast at 5th fucking level, so it's gonna be yeah. And Engie, you've still got that other spell on you as well. So let's see. 2d8 bludgeoning damage.
I mean, I did roll a 22 for the dex save, so is it half at least?
Probably halved. So you'll take regular damage.
Yeah. So
Not too bad.
Oh yeah, Avi raises a good point because he's been getting hit. Was he concentrating on anything?
Other than he wasn't. Not actually. No, I mean there was the sleet storm, which technically, he was concentrating on, but he basically just turns that into ice storm, which lasts for only a very short amount of time before fading away.
Okay, and he only did that this turn, so it's good.
Yeah.
And the thing on engineer, was that not concentration?
Wait, well, let me fucking double check. That's actually a good question. I don't think it was though.
You didn't roll anything to put it on him, but I have no idea about that spell. I've never heard of it before now.
Oh, what the where is it? It's fucking vanished.
Elemental Bane, it is concentration.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Yes.
In that case.
And he's gotten hit a bunch, so he's
he's been hit a lot.
At least 3, I'd say.
Okay,
maybe 4.
That's wisdom save, right?
Minty hit him twice, Minty hit him once, or no, Minty...
Yeah, he's got to have...
He got bonked.
Concentration is con.
Either half the damage he took or a 10.
Con save.
Whatever's higher.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to tell you right now, through sheer statistics, he will have failed at some point. So in that case, the Elemental Bane is thankfully ended. That's still a fuck ton of damage that you got to take. So that's only going to be 5 bludgeoning damage, but then it's going to be 4d6 cold damage, which is 16? Okay. So that's going to be 21 damage for anyone that didn't make the dex, which is everyone except Engie, and then a lot for Engie. So you take 19.
Mod succeeded on the save. So.
Yeah, you still take 19 because you have cold. You're vulnerable to cold damage, so the half doesn't apply.
That's fine.
Right.
No, I was just making sure.
It's not double, so it's better at least.
Okay. Still, that hurt a lot. I mean, like, that's always painful. Cold is always painful.
I don't think he can really do much else as he is stumbling about, trying to pry the engineer off him, while still, like, again, alligator stuck to his leg, giant yarn ball hovering over his fucking head. Oh, wait, no, I said I cast it at 5th level, didn't I? Fuck. One sec, I've got an extra...
I mean, I suppose I'm gonna be mean and ask a question, which I wasn't gonna, but I'm gonna. Does it have a verbal component to casting this spell? Because you do have someone with his teeth in your throat, quite literally.
Yes, but also at no point in any of the fucking games I've run have I cared a jot about the components, including plenty of points where various players should have had things but couldn't.
Okay.
So sadly, I do have to continue that rule for the bad guys.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, that's going to be extra 5 bludgeoning damage, and an extra... Actually, that's going to be only 2 for you, Engie, if that was total.
So it's 5 more bludgeoning. Was there more cold?
No, just bludgeoning. It's basically all the chunks of hail that are that are slamming into you just got that little bit bigger. And that's the end of his turn, and we pan back to the stewardess, who is continuing raging against these people, and you do already spot a couple of people that have fallen down and don't seem to be getting up again just yet, except... Yes, they are, because Micah has rocked up, and his giant mushroom med tent has sprouted up as well. And in a puff of lavender smoke, Micah is going around and healing everyone possible, and there's Iaz as well defending the mushroom med tent with a seemingly unlimited supply of arrows. The fortune teller jumps to the side to get a clean shot as one of the stewardess's arms slammed down right where he was, and he swirls his arms around, a bolt of lightning fires from his own, and there right to the side you've got Dr. Worm sitting there watching this show and eating what you hope is popcorn. And we're back to you, Engie. You're still stuck in this guy's throat.
Yeah. Like, part of me wants to, like, again, like, do the sensible thing and disengage the mouth and use the sword, but on the other hand, you know what? Don't fix what's not broken. And it's funny, and I think that seems to be doing me more favors than trying to do anything serious. So I guess I'm gonna, like, try and keep my teeth in his neck. Like, it's just like I'm just gonna keep doing this. Ow.
No.
Remember, you can add that D4. I don't know if it'll help, but
no,
I don't think that's gonna help. Okay, fine. We'll say, like, he gets dramatically shaken off, and that is going to compel him to try and use the sword.
Yeah.
Can I think of anything?
What's going to be fun is, Engie, you got to be dripping blood from your mouth, because this guy's dripping blood from his neck, and, like, I mean, actual blood from an actual, real kind person, rather than ink or just red splatter or anything. So that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe
terrifying.
It's just... Yeah, that's a look. Oh my god.
You're going to have advantage on any intimidation rolls you want to make.
Cool.
Nice.
At least until you wipe your mouth.
I'm threatening to rip at your guts, but I'm fearing that you don't have any. And he's gonna try the sword thing again. Oh man. Man, Dice Person just really hates the sword, huh?
Yeah.
To be fair, this is turning out to be a wonderfully dramatic fight, regardless of what Dice Passer is doing, so, like...
Yeah. I will ask, like,
I'm busy right now!
Kai, is Ice Storm going to keep continuing?
No, it's instant, it's already ended.
Cute, okay, otherwise I was going to, like, ollie out and then ollie in when that thing's not such a problem. So, yeah, good. I'm glad I don't have to do that. That's slightly out of character. Fine. He's just going to, as it were, position himself in front of the other two, the support team who are kicking more butt than him right now.
Okay, yeah, in that case, probably a good idea. To be fair, though, oh shit, you know what I just remembered? He didn't take damage from Tata's, spell, because she still had that up, because she did fantastic on her saving throw. One moment.
Puppet spirits.
Thank you for being patient.
Thousands of tiny, angry Kermits.
Pretty much.
This is not my beautiful house. You are not my beautiful wife.
He does not make the fucking...
Yeah!
Which means it's taken an extra 10 damage. Okay. Sorry, now, Minty, we're on to... Yeah, sorry, Higgs, we're actually on to you. How you doing?
Yeah.
You just got pelted with hail.
Yeah, he sure did. How would you want me to make, like, a luck roll, or...
Is this for the alligator?
No, Higgs is back to 0 hit points.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
He had 21, which was the first number you rolled. This is going to happen either way.
Does anybody know that he's KO'd?
No one
My
even knows he's
question
up
is,
there.
does he fall out of the rafters?
Ooh.
And does falling out of the rafters mean he takes fall damage and or get hit by Tatter's thing? Because if he falls and takes the damage and gets hit by Tatter, I think that kills him.
No. Can we say he doesn't fall? Because that's worse. And also, I might be able to hit him with like a healing thing. Depending on how far he
you
is.
don't know he's
if there's still
up
a storm
there.
cloud, he's still, you can't see him.
No one knows he is fucking up there other than, a potion and
The
an
only way to
alligator
know
kind of
is if
appeared
he
out of
falls.
nowhere.
And he's gonna fall for 20 feet?
Yeah, 20 feet, which means like you'd only
Because
take
any
a
hit that you
d6 of
take
damage.
when you're down is 2 death save failures.
Yeah.
Shit, okay.
Okay. How? Here's a question: if Higgs falls over up in the rafters, he's on, I am assuming, a sort of a catwalk, which are usually made out of metal and would be fairly resonant if someone fell over on them. Would we be able to hear that?
The thing is, because you've got the stewardess and that whole battle going in the background.
Could we like roll perception to see if we hear him fall or something?
We'd have to use that as an action though.
You know
Right,
what?
yeah.
You know what I could do?
Mm-hmm. Now, the thing I was going to say, the other thing that could do is we could use this as an example of kind of going, hey, this is what happens on the train when you do die and something doesn't come to rescue you because, again, good news is Higgs ain't gonna die for good. I can promise you that.
Okay.
But it would just take you out of the rest of this fight. It is up to you, Mock, unless you had something else in mind.
I was gonna say maybe you guys have seen his Dragon's Breath potion before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Little red one. He usually shakes it and drinks it. I'm gonna say one of those is gonna fall out of the rafters, and maybe you will see that.
Ooh,
Is that
that's a good
fair?
idea.
Okay, alright, so that's fair.
He was prepping it for next turn, he dropped it, and you're like, well, that's not a throwing one.
Yeah. I can say,
But
Minty,
that's the
with
best
your
I can do.
Minty, with your passive perception, you will be able to spot it. Higgs, make a death saving throw.
Sure. That is a success.
Ooh,
You
nice.
know what? Good start. Good start. I'm sorry, you just keep getting completely knocked out, Higgs.
It's okay. This is how it goes.
But yeah,
I didn't heal him before this fight.
This
He had
is
21
fine.
hit points.
Yep.
All right.
Minty, you just saw one of Higgs's potions smash against the ground.
She looks up, like, what the heck was that? And I assume she sees, like, Higgs is, like, one of his arms, like, dangling over the side of the catwalk or something.
Yeah.
All right.
boy.
So she,
Icicles.
yeah.
Icicles
oh, no,
on it.
Higgs! And she's going to use one of her cleric abilities, Preserve Life, Channel Divinity Preserve Life. So as an action, she can restore up to 20 hit points between any creatures within 30 feet of her. So thankfully, Higgs is in range. So she's going to give, let's say, 15 to Higgs and 5 to the engineer.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Yeah,
congrats.
that's awesome.
Higgs, you're alive again.
Yay! Cleric doing her job.
Hell
and
yeah.
then here comes another spiritual weapon for a bonus action.
How long does this fucking last?
Let me check that actually, because that's a good
It lasts
question.
for a while.
It's like a minute, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 10 turns.
Rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 minute, which is like 10 rounds. So
I don't think we've been through 10 rounds yet, so you've got a bit longer on it, but I haven't been keeping track. Let's call it another 2 rounds after this?
I'd say so.
Yeah, okay. If I'm wrong, I'm sure plenty of people are going to be yelling at me in the comments, but oh well. Next up, Tatters is up. I think she will have spotted you casting that healing spell upwards. Kind of goes like, what the heck? Oh, that's an injured person there. Also, Engie ain't looking so great. Also, Minty ain't looking so great. And she's actually going to drop Spirit Guardians and back up a little bit so that she can instead cast Beacon of Hope so that, within 30 feet, which means Higgs, you are going to just be in range, as is, everyone in this little party here. Each target has advantage on Wisdom saving throws and Death saving throws, and you regain the maximum number of hit points possible from any healing. So, basically, Tatter's just kind of from the fairy, the little Mob Kermit fairies vanish, and instead she just starts glowing, and the 3 of you guys can feel that glow inside you as well, and yeah, you've got some hope. You're looking at this guy and he's not going well, but you are managing against him, and you feel got some fucking hope there. Sadly, it's this fucker's turn next. and he really ain't fucking happy. Can everyone make an intelligence saving throw, please?
Oh boy.
Oh, well, Higgs does have a plus
That's
7.
a 3.
So it goes.
That's a 9 for me.
Oops.
He died, so the wizard beard oil probably is no longer in effect, right?
Yeah, I'd say like the beard fell off as you.
Oh, that's a natural one for me.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Actually, wait, engineer and tatters, remember you can add a d4. I don't know if that'll help.
True.
Well, actually, no, that definitely won't help for engineer.
Yeah, no.
Higgs
It
did
may
just almost die again, so
Yeah.
this is in character.
Higgs is still having a great time. Yeah, no, it ain't gonna help Taz either. Oh shit. Okay.
Aw.
Wow, those were some bad rolls.
I think this is the point where this guy's just going to step forward, one hand clutching at his bleeding throat, and whereas before he would have bellowed this out, this time he's hissing and rasping it through his broken voice, and he just goes, enough. And everyone is about to take 8d6 psychic damage.
Oh, cool.
Oh boy.
Please roll a bunch of ones like we be doing.
That's a
Oh, that's
22.
not all ones, but there are a few.
Yeah, everyone's taking 22 psychic damage, please. Good news is, Tatters ain't dead, but she ain't looking good. How are the rest of you
Bad
going?
news, Minty is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sound off, who's dead? I'm just about alive.
Yeah, I know Minty's dead.
Higgs is down again.
Oh, shit.
Okay, we're going great.
Yep.
This, you know what? You think this might be a time to take a break?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good midpoint. Everyone take
How's
5.
that for a cliffhanger?
Ooh.
Oh fuck, my alligator died.
Oh no!
Oh, that is the most
Oh,
depressing
no.
thing that's happened. I'm so sad.
No, wait. Good. Fantastic news. Oh, God, where's the fucking spell?
You have to
A
have
creature
certain
with an
intelligence.
intelligence score of 2 or lower can't be affected by this spell.
The gator
Yes!
still.
The gator lives!
Alligator lives!
I
What's
will
it called?
Alligator
Haven't do
lives.
anything.
Do we have a name for the alligator?
And in theory, it would have still attacked.
Yeah,
Like even if
That's
the
true. It
Higgs
would have
died.
attacked on
even though
on
he's
this turn.
You know what? Let's just see if it
Sell.
manages
Hang
to.
on, wait. Well,
We
should
just
start
start the round again. Yes!
I would like everyone to note that the stuffed alligator managed to deal a grand total of 1 piercing damage on Marinos's ankle.
Yeah! MVP!
Yes.
We stand an icon. All right, I'm
do.
recording again.
Okay, and with
So
that,
we're gonna call the alligator Stan.
yes, please. All right,
Stan the
Yeah.
alligator.
we love this.
Stan the man.
You Stan.
I was trying to think of a funny name that Higgs would have given it, but
I don't.
Sell.
To be fair, I can completely imagine, like, while you spent fucking forever in the origami carriage, like, you took the alligator out and you kind of talked at it in the same way of, like, rubber duck debugging, stuffed alligator debugging.
yeah, it was rubber duck. There was a little bit of rubber duck and a little bit of Wilson from Castaway.
Yeah, it's, like, perfect. Alright. While this is going on, there's that whispered enough, and thankfully it doesn't reach out to the rest of the audience, which is still going on. You've got Amy casting spells to protect her friends as the stewardess climbs up the literal walls, each limb stabbing into each wall while she drags herself up. This, of course, does not deter Tammy and Perrin, as Tammy places her hands on the floor and a giant fist of stone knocks aside a row of seats and yeets Perrin at the stewardess, who rains down as many blows as he can onto her mask. You've got Bath absolutely wrecking shop with fireball after fireball. You've got Zverk latched onto one of the stewardess's tendrils with their teeth clinging tight even as she whips them around to try and, like, zerk off. Meanwhile, Admiral Abigail is trying to, like, scurry underneath to catch Zverk in case he falls. You've got Luca, exhausted, desaturated, keeping to the background and defending the others as best he can. Dixie, wielding a bomb, gives an evil cackle as they lob it towards the stewardess's mask. You've got Bubba protecting everyone small. You've got Sally healing everyone that she can. And as this is all going on, you've got you guys on stage, with half of you dead, well, unconscious, and the other half of you really not looking good. Engineer, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
Okay. Okay, well, speaking is a free action, right?
Yep.
Right. So yeah, he's going to take stock of the situation. Oh boy. Oh, this is less good than he'd like it to be. On the other hand, he's less good than he'd like him to be. So he turns to Tatters slightly and says, "Okay, you do what you do best, and I'll do what I usually do best." And he's going to drink that long rest in a bottle. Because, if he's going to last any amount of time, he needs to be back to full health. So I'm going to glug that as my action, if that's cool.
Yep, sounds good.
And that resets, everything, spells and shit?
Yeah, because it's a full rest.
Okay, that's cool. He's still going to keep the rage, because that's good. He does the cool thing of glugging it and then smashing it on the bottle just because it's goddamn extra.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure not to hit Stan the alligator. He would never do that.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and he's just going to basically reinstate his defensive position. He's basically saying, "Come at me, I'm pegging ribs," and hoping that this is sufficient of a distraction, or rather temptation, that Tatters can do some healing of the other guys.
Yeah, well, before she can do any healing, can I please get some death save? Actually, oh wait, no, shit, wait. Does she still have Beacon of Hope going? Concentration. Okay, let me roll con. She does. She's kept up Beacon of Hope.
Yes.
So while she has been knocked down to a grand total of 6 hit points, and can I just say, I'm really glad I leveled her up to level 6 before this fight.
Yay!
Yeah, Tat has reached level 6 while she was gathering up people on the rooftop. So she has thankfully kept up Beacon of Hope. So while she's down on one fucking knee, clutching at the raging headache that she's got going, that glow of hope is still there, and Higgs, Minty, you don't have to make death saving throws because, number one, you have passed. You just gotta hope this keeps up. For her actual turn, though, while she's still down on the ground, she's kind of kneeling at first, and then she kind of just sits and closes her eyes and tries to think as hard as she can to cast Prayer of Healing. So 6 creatures of your choice that you can see within a range of 30 feet, which is gonna be all you 4. Everyone heal up for 22 health.
Nice.
Sure is having a fucking time today, huh?
I wish I'd saved that potion now, but never mind, it's all good.
Okay.
I mean, you get your spells and stuff back from it, though.
That's true.
Yep, and that's the end of that little bit. And I'm gonna be really, really fucking horrid here. I'm very, very sorry. Everyone's gonna need to make another intelligence saving throw.
Are you serious? Oh my god.
Look, he's found something that works.
Fucking hell, Higgs.
Oh.
Now, technically, there was actually extra effects from this spell that should have applied, but I'm gonna say they didn't because, he was still recovering from the giant wound in his fucking neck.
Are we gonna get him this time, though?
Oh, geez, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a crit fail.
Oh, no.
Tatters. Okay. Everyone, can I just congratulate you?
Oh my god, wait, should I make one for the alligator? No, the alligator's fine, I forgot.
The alligator's too stupid to die. It's okay.
Cool.
Can I just say, I want to congratulate you on your rolls. You all did fucking astoundingly. This guy is just OP. Again, I've told you this when you were going into this whole thing.
Oh, absolutely.
What was that roll? Was that your...
Yeah.
Oh, for the alligator to hit during Higgs' turn?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good point. Yeah. D4, please. It was just a straight D4.
Going out on a high note. Come on, Stan.
Another 2 damage.
2!
Okay.
It's still just gnawing on his freaking foot.
Yeah, it's just... I think at this point, I'm going to actually semi-drop out of initiative here, because it's time for dramatic effect.
Ooh.
Oh.
And...
I really shouldn't have used that potion then. I'm so kicking myself so badly.
Okay, please consider how well you've managed to do without that potion before.
Yeah.
On the other hand, this does mean there's every chance that you'll be able to stay on your feet after this whole thing. But yeah, Marinos steps forward. Hand drops away from his throat, just kind of letting the blood leak and stain his shirt red. As he steps forward, shakes the alligator off his foot, and gathers together whatever vocal strength he can, and finally manages to yell, I said, enough! And it echoes out around the whole auditorium, and everyone's gonna take another 25 damage, so everything that Tatters just did kinda goes a bit skewy.
That's the D&D, man. That's how it goes.
At this point, and this is the thing, is the whole, everyone's gonna wind up with muddled thoughts for a full minute. So, yeah, you're not going well. I think Tatters is technically still, like, conscious, but she's not on her feet. Engie, you're the only one that's up at the moment, aren't you? He is just going to walk forward and go, well, I suppose you said that you wanted to find me. Congratulations, you've found me. And now I'm going to make sure that you're not going to be finding much in the way of anything from here on out. And he raises his hand to cast another spell. And before that happens, a shining bolt of golden light flies out from behind stage. And you can hear a roar that, while Marinos's voice previously echoed around the whole carriage, this one in particular feels like it is coming from the walls of the carriage, from the walls of the entire train. Climax! And you get the faintest glimpse as this guy comes dashing forth onto stage, the entire carriage seeming to warp around him as the floorboards of the stage lift up to push him forwards as he sprints forward. Each word he says is punctuated by another golden bolt of shimmering light slamming into Marinos's chest, sending him stumbling backwards. What have you done to my train? And he is knocked backwards completely as the floorboards curl up and wrap around him, holding him completely steady. And Engineer, standing in front of you, you can barely make him out with how confuddled your head is from that last spell. But it's this small gnome man whose half his limbs seem to be made of metal and clockwork, standing in front of you, although not really, he's half hovering in the air if anything else. Right in front of Marinos, breathing hard, glowing with power. What do you want to do?
I really like your train, but I think your standards for employees have slipped a little bit.
You could say that. And as this is going on, in the background, you've just had several new people come running after this guy. Locke, Floof, Danny, Zelda, and Eos come sprinting out from behind stage as well, see the giant fight that's still going on in the audience, and quickly join in. Locke opening fire, Floof bringing out like firebolt, Zelda taking her bow and shooting into all the cracks she can, Eos dashing from one point to the other using bolts from the grave and trying casting as many necromantic spells as they can. And as this is going on, Loopsy and Daz finally manage to join in on the fight, swooping down with a giant knitted net. And they wrap around the stewardess, and Daz has never thrown hands once on the train until now, as every single one of the passengers have been encountered on this train that have decided to join in on this, managed to not just stop the stewardess, but tie her up completely and rip her mask off her face. And she is deactivated completely, as is Marinos. And well done.
Yeah!
The fight is over. And it takes a second, but Tatters manages to pull herself to her feet, shakes her head as best she can, and casts Prayer of Healing one more time. Sadly, she's a bit too combobulated for it to be at full strength, but you guys are at least going to be back on your feet for this. So yeah, you're all back to 15 health.
Nice.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
How many times did you manage to die in the span of about 5 minutes there, Higgs?
You're going to be challenging my title.
When the engineer killed him, I think it was 4.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it's like catching up on you, Engie.
Yeah, Minty's only up to 2 now, I think. Yeah, Minty just kind of like stumbles to her feet. She like stumbles a little bit, puts like a paw to her head, rubbing her forehead like, oh.
And Angie's really happy to see them back up, but he's not dropping his guard for one fucking second with this guy. He just is not.
Nope.
He's excited.
Okay, now
to
you're
meet
gonna
this
get
new guy.
it.
Higgs, can I just note, you're still up on the fucking rafters.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yes!
Is this just you yelling down at him before storming off?
I think Higgs is gonna do the thing where like he grabs onto like one of the ropes and like goes like slides down it.
Hell yeah.
Or does he do the thing where like he cuts one of the bags off or whatever and like
Yeah, it comes
Oh,
sliding
please drop
down.
a sandbag on his head. Please drop a sandbag on the defect's
Yes,
head.
please.
you
And
know what, that happens as part of what he's doing.
Yep, fucking
and then he
astounding.
comes down on the other side of the rope and he comes down and it's just like, oh well, this is awkward.
Yeah, I will say, this guy is completely trapped as kind of, again, the carriage itself has come alive to hold him fucking still, and this little, like, half clockwork gnome kind of looks around at the mess, looks around at the state that you're in, and just walks over to one of the wall, presses a hand against it, presses the hand into the wall, and, you know, there's that feeling where you've been on some form of transport. For me, it's airplanes. You've been on it for so fucking long that the noise, the feeling of movement, all of that is just, you don't notice it anymore. You don't notice it anymore until it stops. And you have just felt the train stop beneath you, and you all kind of stumble a little bit as you catch yourself.
We all got train legs.
Pretty much. And you feel things shifting and the sound of things shifting, of giant carriages being moved about. And then this man starts wading through what is left of the audience, stepping over seats that have been knocked aside and around makeshift med tents, and heads over to the red door and opens it up. And rather than that glowing light that you're all so very used to, it simply opens into Engineer, what you would recognize as the recovery carriage.
Well, he's not fucking going through it.
I think Higgs is gonna just like turn. Who did he end up next to? Does it matter?
Doesn't whoever you like.
We're probably like in a little group anyway, so
yeah. I think he just turns to them, like does the whisper like side out of the mouth talking. He's just like, so am I missing something? Like who's this guy?
I think that's his boss, the person who made the train.
You don't know who that is?
Yeah, Alex told him about it. We didn't tell you. There's a lot. Sorry.
My announcement was rather improvised. I might have managed to neglect the mention of a creator. I believe that this is the same person.
As you guys are just talking on stage, the man is starting to usher some of the other passengers in the audience over into the new train, just going like healing tanks into there. Go, like if you're hurt or unconscious, like trying to get people who have been knocked unconscious, bring their and to get them into those familiar tanks filled with healing goo to try and help them.
Love the goo.
I mean, what is the defect doing? I know he's stuck, but like, he's conscious, right?
He's still conscious. He's actually, you know what? I would say he was still fucking conscious until Higgs dropped that sandbag on him.
Yes!
And knocked a grand total of like that one last hit point out, and he is out.
Nice.
That is so much more satisfactory than him just being KO'd by his boss. Like, the sandbag is what did it. Thank
He
you.
was still
like
growling in
humiliating.
anger until bonk.
I like to imagine there's still an alligator who's come back and is now like gnawing on his boots again.
On
Yeah.
his ear.
No. It's like the alligator has managed to steal one of his shoes and is kind of just off to the side chewing on it.
Nice. Nice.
Can Minty just give the alligator a little pat? Like, good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give that alligator
She
a medal.
pats it on the little head.
Like I think it like sticks its tongue out like a dog.
Aww. Well, they just pet you, but I love you so much.
Well, it certainly was a help in the fight, though I can't say I'm too keen to be doing all that again. Everyone all right?
I'm okay. You guys?
You mean like in the cosmic sense, or?
Well, I don't think any of us are all right in the cosmic sense after everything we've been through on this train, but...
Yeah.
Oh, by the
Who are
way...
you?
I was about to say, I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting. My name's Tata Demalian, and you would be?
I am Benjamin Herman Boingo Higgins, but if that's, you can call me Higgs.
It's good to meet you, Mr. Higgins. I met Mr. Ward here over in the recovery carriage that's over there, I think, except now it's here, and then it was off to their fine Minty, and then it was onto the engine, and then, well, this whole thing happened, but guess we're all here now.
Just because of the name drop, anybody want to do an insight?
Oh, hell yes, with Higgs's -1.
Oh shit.
2.
Yeah.
That's
for
a
you.
13 from Tatters.
24!
Yes.
I knew you wouldn't let me down. Yeah. The other two of you aren't really paying attention to Oscar, which is understandable given the circumstances. Minty, however, with the mention of Mr. Ward, you notice that, he still hasn't let his guard down, but he looks kind of disappointed, and you remember that, he was trying to regain his title, and now another engineer has shown up and fixed the problem, and he doesn't know where that leaves him at all. And was that the only chance?
Minty's gonna kind of walk up behind him and sort of like give him a pat on the shoulder, be like, "Hey, well, maybe we didn't beat him, but I mean, we did pretty well, and you were the last one standing. So, I mean, just because you're not the engineer of this train doesn't mean you can't be the engineer."
But I was the last one standing. I shouldn't have been the only person left standing.
I mean, maybe, but if this fight proved anything, it's that we can't really do anything alone. She kind of gestures to like any of the people who are still around.
Oh yeah, there's there are about 150 people out in the audience. A bunch of them have been shuffled into the recovery carriage for healing and such.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
There's still a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he accepts that. He does sort of, take that. And it's like, well, as three, you can never make a movie by yourself. You need a team. But all the same, do you understand how I'm feeling?
Well, of course, and maybe you don't feel you're ready to be the engineer yet, but I'm sure you will one day.
All right. And he turns the sword off, but he's dissatisfied, and he's still kind of feeling hollow.
He's getting a hug then.
Oh, okay, yeah, that fills up the hole a bit. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. He has stopped raging too, so he's not like volcano.
Excellent. No, he's nice and toasty now.
Yeah. He's still completely spattered with blood though. He looks awful.
Does anyone have prestidigitation?
I think Minty might. Hold on.
Oh god.
Yeah, she does. Minty's gonna start cleaning everybody up, just casting it over and over to clean people up.
Oh, okay, good.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. And she's got mending too, so if anyone's if our outfits got messed up, she can fix those up too.
Oh, Tatters can help with that one at least.
Aw, Clear Squad.
Hell yeah. But yeah,
And is the creator still shepherding people?
He's not quite, not necessarily shepherding people, but he's going around and checking up on everyone. Because, if you want, you guys can roll insight on him.
Yeah.
Sure.
Though I am going to say it's going to be a bit of a difficult one, because that's an
20.
20.
No, the -1 was for me.
And that's a 17 for Minty.
Higgs rolled a 0.
Oh, I love that. I fucking
Good
love
job,
that.
Higgs.
Wow.
And a nat 20 from Tatters and a 22 from... Okay, so everyone except
now
Higgs...
Now we get them after the fight.
Character.
I was going to say, oh yeah, this will be a difficult roll, so it's okay if you don't get much. With those rolls anyway. Yeah, you guys can tell. It takes a moment to kind of figure it out, because this guy, you can tell from looking at this guy, he likes to keep things reasonably close to the chest. He doesn't really like emoting much, because when he's speaking it's all rather monotone, kind of grumpy. He uses as few words as possible, sort of thing. But you are looking at him, you are looking at his body language, and oh gods, the amount of regret that is seeping through right now. You could kind of tell from before it was just absolutely nothing but seething rage. Right now it is pure regret and sorrow, and as you're watching him carefully tend to everyone, he doesn't have any healing stuff himself, but he can go through and make sure that at least the train is able to help heal everyone. And you can feel the fact that the train is still stopped beneath you, and you can kind of feel that train itself is also oozing this. as its creator is right fucking there. And Engie, you understand this so fucking well because, God, Willow did the same to you. The Taffy train did the same with you. And this is someone who knows they fucked up and doesn't know how they're gonna fix it, but they're gonna try their hardest anyway. Higgs, you're looking at this guy and all you can sense is like, oh, this guy just has so much scorn for the fucking peons beneath him on this train. How, like, look at this fucking, like, oh yes, doting on them, making sure they're healing. He's just here to make sure that they continue in this fucking perpetual torture machine. And you guys can do what you want to do.
I was gonna say, can Minty like take her long rest potion so she can get her spells back, and then just start going around helping get people back on their feet with cure wounds, like healing them enough so that they can at least walk to the recovery carriage.
Absolutely, absolutely. Triage time. I think Tatters is probably going to help you out. She doesn't have like a long rest thing, but she does still have a bunch of spell slots that she can use.
I think Higgs is going to kind of huff and pull out his potion and just hold it out to Tatters. He's not going to say anything.
Why, thank you. May I ask what it is, though, before taking it? Don't take me wrong, but it's generally not the wisest idea to go accepting drinks from strangers, even if they do send to me and be friends of friends.
Healing potion.
Oh.
He does not specify that it's a very strong one.
Oh. Well, thank you. And she is going to pick you up and give you a hug. And she kind of takes this from you, and again, she's like I think, what did I say before, like 6.5 feet tall or something? So Higgs, you're straight up lifted off the ground during this.
Definitely makes the squeaky toy noise.
Yeah, perfect. And yeah, she considering she's not going great, she will drink it, and then she almost gets knocked flat once more by the strength of this, because oh wow, she wasn't expecting that. And then, Minty, she's gonna come join you with helping and healing as best you can. And you guys are gonna be joined with dozens and dozens of other healers and magic workers of all kinds. They don't have the advantage of, what was it, a good night's sleep? Potion of good night's sleep?
Yeah, potion of good night's sleep.
Yeah, they don't have that, but everyone's doing their best to look after each other here, and, like, there is that whole feeling of community. So
I'd love to say that Engineer immediately went off to, Oscar immediately went off to say hello to everybody that he recognizes and thanks to for coming. However, the first thing he actually has done is walk backstage, find one of those, those fire buckets that are usually filled with sand.
Yeah.
And he's found a permanent marker and has drawn a silly, angry face on it and has turned it upside down and put it on the defect's head.
Yes.
And then he goes around finding everybody that he recognizes and thanks them all for coming.
Yeah, you've got Doc Acne, who you'll get to say hi to again, and you've got Lochan, who did actually manage to put up like a pretty good fight as everything was wrapping up. And Lochan, who apparently also came in with the creator of the train. What the fuck happened there? Who else have you met?
Colin.
Yes, Colin. You will get to see Colin.
Yep, Minty will absolutely say hi to Colin too, because
everybody loves Colin.
Higgs isn't really a medic. What he probably does is he does still have a couple of potions of healing. Just like his level 1 cure wounds, which would get someone up, but not much more.
Yeah.
I think he hands them to someone else and asks them to distribute them.
Oh. I will also note, there is, the giant beheaded body of the stewardess kind of lying across a bunch of seats, if anyone wants to go poke at her.
I mean, yeah, I guess Oscar would
that's
want
pretty
to see
interesting.
This is up to you guys, because I will tell you, the grumpy little gnome is gonna just be helping other people, because while he is aware that it was you guys that were on the stage with the bastard, there's also a lot of other people that need seeing too. So anything that happens here needs to be initiated by you guys.
Right, yeah.
I think Higgs is going to look at the downed stewardess. He never got to really see it. I mean, he saw it in action here, but
is this going to be our father-son bonding experience? Is poking the corpse of a gigantic robot?
Yes, please.
It has to be.
Yes, please.
Should I make any kind of roll just to see?
Roll me investigation.
Oh, I don't think I have anything in that. Oh, I don't have anything in that.
You can have advantage because you know how mechanics and shit work, though.
Oh, that's kind. Okay, that's
Well, that
still
wasn't
bad.
helpful.
Okay. Good. He's still feeling pretty gloomy, so I guess that figures.
Okay, we'll go with that 8 first for Engie. Or Oscar, or whatever you want to be at the moment.
He doesn't know what he is right now. I think that's why he's got an 8.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you kind of... With that 8, you can tell, yeah, this thing is a lot bigger than before. You do kind of note that, doesn't seem as strongly armoured as the first time that you fought it. Possibly because it needed to get so big, and if you do armour that thick on something this big, it's kind of going to collapse under its own weight. But you don't really manage to figure out much more than that. Higgs, with that 18...
Yeehaw.
You more or less managed to figure out how this works. You don't think you could recreate it yourself from scratch, but you know that if you kind of poke this bit there, that foot goes twitch. So that's a pretty fun thing. And you actually take a poke at a little bit of the spell work as well, and you manage to find that this thing has a bunch of cool little spell abilities that you didn't get the chance, such as this thing actually being able to cast a couple of spells. And you know those big flaming eyes? They weren't just for show. It could actually shoot a giant fucking gout of flame out of them if it wanted. But yeah, you could I will say with that 18, you can manage to pick up a couple of odds and ends of materials from there if you want, for you to work on at a later date. Sadly, you are not an artificer, so there's only so much you can do, but maybe an inspiration for a future potion.
Can I... Mod, do you want to make a insight check?
Me? What? Huh? Okay.
Or Oscar? If we're both looking at it.
Oh, 22. There's where my good roll is at.
I don't really need it. Okay. No, I'm just... If you're paying any attention, Higgs is doing this. He probably does pick up a few bits and bobs, odds and ends. His heart's not really in it, in the way that, like... I know you weren't paying super close attention in the staircase carriage, but if you remember the way that he was when you opened that door and there was, like, all this chemistry stuff behind it, and he went in and started looking around at everything, he's not really doing that right now, and it's maybe like more than just like after battle tiredness.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's paying more attention apparently to Higgs than the giant dead robot corpse, and yeah, he's not really sure what to say because like he's kind of feeling bummed out too. It's probably not like for the same reason, but he just sort of picks up a limb, then drops it and does a big sigh. And he's like, is it just me? Were you expecting to feel a little bit more fulfilled? Blah is about right.
I wasn't really expecting anything, to be completely honest.
Anything you want to talk about?
So you like gave up your name, right?
I
Or that whatever thing that you did.
I just didn't feel like I deserved to be called that, and now I still don't, so I don't know where that leaves me. At least you know your name.
Wow.
You don't like your name? I mean, it is a mouthful,
No,
I will say.
I don't know if I've been Higgs for a long time.
Yeah, he gives himself a sort of scratch on the chin. Oh, there's a bit of flake, dry blood still there. Nope, get rid of that. Okay, well, what was Higgs and what Higgs is and what Higgs can be, I suppose, are all different things. I know it's an ironic thing, me saying all this, but what do you want Higgs to be?
I mean, it's not even any specific thing. It's all the things I already am, of course. Brilliant and a genius and...
Modest.
You know. Yeah, of course. That too. But I don't...
You don't?
He's really trying to find words. Haha, me makes a character with a very complex, like...
yeah, it's hard.
Shit going on. And
they've both got a lot going on.
Shit. I think he finally settles on something like,
anger is a tool. It's a useful tool, but it's the only one I've been using for a long, long time. And I don't know if I still know how to use any others.
Well, that's no good. You've got to expand your portfolio or I won't hire you.
Yeah, I mean, like you want me around.
Excuse me? You telling me what I want?
Good people.
You're just coming all the way to find you and getting exploded, 3 times? Not tell you anything about what I feel about you? You've got a great brain. It's a bit messed up, but so is mine, and we're all working on those issues. And you know what? Yeah, I can't help but think you'd be quite useful in the special effects department. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe it's not your cup of tea. And he turns around with his hands up in the air, like, okay, fine.
And you're just gonna what? Go back to doing whatever you were doing before?
Yeah, that makes him stop. I'm not sure.
Because listen, I'm not one for critiques of personality, but if you kind of run your show like you were running it before, it's probably not going to work out too well for anybody.
Yeah, the body language gets less and less optimistic because he'd actually temporarily forgotten what he's going back to. I'm not sure.
You did kill me once.
Yes, well, that's the thing. That was accidental. I am sorry about that. I really do feel rather bad. Terribly bad about that. The thing is, I'm not sure that I have anything to go back to. I've been missing for a year. They're gonna think I ran away. If I go back, I might do more damage than if I just stayed here.
People hurt.
Not always. But the thing is, I used to think my legacy was my films, but I was wrong. It's more than that. It's the people. It's the people who have met me or who watch those films, who have heard my voice, seen me at my best or worst, who have knowingly or not held my hand. Your legacy is every life you've touched, and I want my legacy to be the same one I've always tried to leave, which is telling people that they can be the hero of their own story and live and be free and be who they want to be. And here I am, not knowing who I am, not having anything to go back to save a world that doesn't want me. And the people who did love me, if they think I just abandoned them like that monster, and he gestures back at the thing under the bucket, I don't know if I can bring myself to help them by going back there.
Yeah, well,
we're both a mess, aren't we?
You'll have that legacy. That's fine. It's his nose twitches like rabbit twitch. At least you have people to go back to.
Oh, and I don't count. Oh, you don't consider me a person? Oh, I suppose a celebrity is not a person. I understand. Or is it a celebrity is not a people? I think that's the line I was trying to quote. Never mind. But yeah, he's looking half genuinely, but also half mockingly insulted that you don't think that, he's a person for you to go back to.
Please also just pointedly gesture at Minty and Tatters in the background during all
this. Yeah. There's a sort of, there's a shot with them in the background, and Minty turns around like, what? Maybe.
What?
Someone's feeling unloved. Activate Minty vision.
We were just talking about you.
Well,
actually, Minty, I think we need you over here. I'm really bad at this sort of thing. Would you come and talk some sense into both of us? Actually, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I imagine Minty was chatting with the rest of the hot chocolate and Carriage gang. But yeah, then she goes over to the other two.
So, in summary, we're feeling kind of messed up, and he believes that he's got nobody to go back to if he goes into the wide world, which I'm personally a little bit cheesed off about because it discounts me and you. Although you're going to have to find your way to a magic land? What is it?
Blissland, actually, yeah. But yeah, I'm not really sure how I'm going to be able to, how soon I'll be able to get to Inkwell from there. But I'm going to do everything I can to try and find my way there. But in the meantime, I mean, yeah, like you said, you've got Engie there, and I mean, any of the other people you met on the train, them too.
Well, I'm still hesitating on that name. I'm just getting used to having an identity crisis by now.
Sorry, Oscar, my bad.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he's just kind of almost face palming right now because he's like, we're supposed to be celebrating, and I don't feel like I've got all that much to celebrate about. Is that stupid?
No, not at all. I mean, when you've been as tense as we are in a situation as dangerous like this, it's kind of more of a slow release than a feeling happy at the end. But when you have all that tension and you finally relax, you kind of, collapse. It makes sense.
Collapse. He sits down and basically I feel like he almost takes Higgs out with him. He's just sprawling on whatever seating arrangement there is, and he's just like, you know what, peck this, I need to lay down.
If you're laying on any part of the stewardess, you might feel it shaking a little bit because Higgs has turned around and just started kind of half-heartedly kicking it.
Yeah, that's nice. That's actually kind of comforting.
Yeah.
Massage chair.
Yeah, Minty just kind of flops down to Oscar as well. I think I need like a year-long nap and a whole lot of therapy after this. How about you guys?
Hey, I'll drink to that.
I think this is probably the point where it's been a while now. Everyone who can be seen to has now been seen to. And I think this is the point where you guys are kind of focused on yourselves at this point and each other at this point in time. So it kind of takes you a minute to notice, because you know what? When he's not all glowing with like magic and anger, this guy does kind of blend into the background of the train a little bit, or more the train blends into him. And when you do finally notice, you've got the creator of the train just standing in front of you three, watching.
Also, you finally decided to turn up. That's nice.
Took a while for your announcement to get to me.
Oh, I'm
Right,
so
time's
very
weird.
sorry. I had to die before I could make it.
Can't die, not here.
You tell that to the floor I had an impact with. You do have an amazing machine, though, I'll give you that.
Too many mistakes, too many problems, too much time to fix. Good thing there's no time, but... And he kind of starts, not like pacing, not back and forth, but like in a circle, kind of shuffling about some of the broken seats as he does. Not necessarily... He himself is not necessarily fixing things, but as he shuffles them about, they start kind of fixing themselves.
Thank you for coming here and, well, pretty much saving us.
Retirement's not worth it if this is what happens when I'm not working. Anyway, you three. Home or therapy, your choice. Or therapy, then home, but what do you want?
I mean, definitely home and probably therapy after that.
Alright.
Oscar
I
doesn't
think
say anything, he's just looking at the ceiling.
Therapy's not even going to do anything, so I might as well just choose.
And he goes over again to the wall of Carriage, kind of places his hand against it and into it. And Engie, even if you're not paying attention, out of the very corner of your vision, you do see a very familiar, warm glow.
I'm gonna make a whiz save right now. Oh, 20, you have no idea how much he wants to go through that door. And you really don't have any idea how much he does, because that was a nat 20. Which, you know, yeah, he's basically putting every single minute of his acting career's experience into not reacting to that and not moving, because he is desperate to go home, and at the same time he just doesn't know if he can, literally.
Well,
So we could have left at any point.
No, this place is for you. Different carriages for you two, different carriages for everyone. But bring them here. Everyone could go home if you want to go home. Place certainly hasn't helped.
It's kind of made things worse in a way. I've been gone for a year.
No.
Excuse me?
What do you mean, no?
No time. No death, no time, no space but what I brought. Nothing here.
Yeah, you could say that again.
So, what do you mean? Do you mean no time has passed outside of here?
Give or take a day. But no. I take you from where you came, I put you back where you came from.
But about what we went through, what was the point? Are we gonna remember, if no time has passed, but we've gone through all this, what was the point? And does that stay with us?
I think he'll just kind of stare at you for a minute. And you can see his fingers twitching, you can see him wanting to go back to pacing, to doing something. And then he kind of just turns on the spot and gestures toward you. Come. And he starts heading back towards the stage, or specifically behind stage. Are you going to follow?
Yeah, I mean, he's following, but I think even after that nat 20, he's starting to lose his temper with this guy.
Get it?
Okay.
If anything, and I know you're the one directly talking to him, but Higgs is kind of only half-heartedly following any of this.
Mm-hmm.
He's very
was
much
like this guy.
like
No,
half
that's fair.
here, kind of in his own head right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can I say, as we walk past Buckethead, Oscar Engie gives it a kick,
Nice.
Excellent.
just so it spins around.
Higgs also kicks it. He probably also at this point picks up the baby alligator plush, which is
Yeah, it's the 10 minutes
Probably
is well
not.
and truly up by
yeah,
now.
10 minutes is up.
Oh,
Yeah. Minty considers hitting him, walks past, and then runs back and bops him with her little nub.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Minty
So it
did a
sounds like-
violence.
It's
did a hit.
very gentle because, again, she's a stuffed animal and it does literally no damage, but
No, I love it nonetheless. Alright.
bap.
Yeah, because this guy is just going to hop on one of that, like, another one of those little mini trains. What brought you here, what he came in here on.
Mm-hmm.
And he will wait for you, whoever who feels like joining him, to join him, and then the train is going to set off. And after a quick journey through the train carriage, which, can I get a very quick perception check from everyone here?
Oh, not a con save, so I feel sick from the
No.
space-time traveling.
No, actually, when you're
After all
traveling
of
with this,
that.
like, there is a little bit of dizziness and confusion, but when you're traveling with this guy, it's like nothing more than, oh, I kind of span on a desk chair for like a couple of seconds too long,
Okay.
sort of thing.
I have
Well,
rolled
none
an
of these are good.
unnatural one.
Right. Right, those who are atrocious from all of you, you don't notice any differences. The smog that is in this carriage is still too thick for you guys to actually notice. But you will...
I did turn off the fog machine.
Yeah.
You can tell the audience what we didn't see.
I can tell the audience that through this thick fog, while this place used to have thousands upon thousands, or to be a bit more precise, close to 1.5 million little doorways leading to every single carriage on this train, that number is actually starting to go down, and this giant hallway filled with trains is starting to bit by bit shrink. But you guys don't see that. The one thing you do notice, especially you, Minty, is as you are spiraling down and down and down, it's a pretty long journey, and like while these other train rides have kind of like, they take a minute or two, this one seems to be taking longer, and you get all the way down to where you can actually, the tracks are laid across the ground of the carriage, and then you go through another tunnel, and you come out somewhere that's absolutely gleaming with gold and silver gears and cranks, and this is an artificer's dreamland, frankly. You've got various little tools ranging from like the size of a hammer to barely the size of a needle for placing gears that can be as small as a grain of sand into various clockwork contraptions which are hanging from the ceilings. You've got clocks, you've got little frogs, you've got birds that actually flap and tweet as you go past, you've got music boxes, you've got everything. And this man hops off the train, and he hops onto a little stool instead at a workbench, and not facing you guys, he pulls something out of his pocket and starts working on it. And he finally talks. It was meant to help. See people hurting here and there because decisions get too rushed and they want to stop and think and they can't stop and think and they've got a problem sewing this and they've got a problem with that. But because of life, they don't get a chance to do anything about it. So it was meant to help. Pick a place outside of time. Pick a place where they can stop. Pick a place where they can deal with whatever is going on in their head and then go back to life and get on with things without whatever was going on before. And it worked.
That worked out really well for you, huh?
For 1,000 years, yes! Yes, for 1,000 years this place ran perfect. The entire globe helped people everywhere. People made friends. People got the help they needed. People gained realizations of their life and chose new pathways because they had help from here. I figured was going well. I figured, yes, I can take a break. I can retire. I can let my apprentice, who managed to find me on this train himself, take over. And you have seen how that went, obviously.
Oh yeah, you do. That's mistake number one.
Oscar Engie actually puts a hand on Higgs's head and sort of like pats it. And pats it again quite heavily. If I may. I worked with a eerily similar project, which you probably know all about, actually, having read your files on all of us, which is frankly rather alarming. The thing is, all it takes is one person who wants to break it, and it's broken.
What's worse is when they don't want to break it, but they don't care about maintaining it. Then it happens slowly, then you don't know. And then people get hurt, and a lot of people get hurt, and you look at his hands, and you look at what he's fiddling with, and you will actually, Engineer and Minty, you are actually going to recognize this, because it looks not identical to, because it's a work in progress, but you can see him testing some little levers and like watching the irises grow and shrink, and those look a lot like Alex's eyes. And then he puts them down and he picks up another piece and keeps working on things and bit by bit assembling something.
Well, I'll admit you should have put in a fail-safe, but so should have I. Maybe that was just the alpha run. There's no... If you say this thing has been running successfully for 1,000 years and it's actually been doing its job properly, you can't give up just from one failure, surely.
Not one. More than 500 failures.
Okay, maybe that's time to go back to the drawing board.
Single...
that's...
You, points at all three of you. Every single one back there, and points towards, like, where you came in from. Every single person. Everyone on this train. Everyone who is stuck here. Everyone who has been injured. Everybody who was in those healing tanks. Who is needing to rely on everybody else to make sure they stay alive. They are failures, because I didn't keep up the work. So, do you want to stay?
Again, I told you didn't have a fail-safe. If you had just, like, one of those wee little bells that goes off, something's gonna miss, or someone else to check in, like leaving it all to one person, whether it's you or that disaster back there, that's what I used to do, and it's stupid.
If there's one thing we've all learned here, it's that one person can't handle everything themselves. Certainly not a place like this. And honestly, like, I mean, I don't think this whole thing was your fault. I mean, you're not the one who was selfish and awful and let everything get this bad. You can't really blame me for wanting to take a break for a bit.
He doesn't really respond to that, just keeps working on whatever he's building. But Higgs, you were about to say something?
I think it's inevitable, right? No matter what, right? Even if there's a small chance of something, it'll happen anyway. And then, you fail. And there's nothing you can do about it. You just gotta live with it.
All you can do is try to be better the next time. Learn from your mistakes and try and be better.
Hey, if you built this train to teach us that sort of a message, and you don't know it yourself, then what the heck are you doing? Talk about the blind.
Might as well give up.
I don't have any eyes.
Might as well give up, avoid the problem entirely. Worked for me.
I have been here for 1,000 years, for close to 2,000 years, really. I haven't seen home. I have no family left. This is it. And yes, here to teach people. Yes, I know these lessons. Yes, I know this. It is different when... This is a place where I am God. This is a place where I am the creator of everything you see.
I mean, that's Oscar cracking up, because, like, are you serious? Are you building up that? Are you really?
Yes, he fucking
arrogant.
is.
Even I was not as arrogant as to think that I was a god. I was a very good director, but a god? I mean, you're guaranteed that you're going to get smited. I'm not even religious, but that's I called you stupid before. That's moronic. What are you doing?
I think at this, he's just kind of going to stare at you for a little bit, and then kind of, like, do a little gesture with his hands of, like, fingers all together, and then opening it all at once, and you guys just get this one little thing of the entire carriage that you're in just expanding to about 100 times the size of it was, and now you're suddenly like several hundred feet away from where this guy was. And for those of you that know magic, which is all of you, I can tell you right now, this isn't some illusion. This guy just suddenly made the space like 1,000 times bigger. And then... Guess
who's got a -9 and doesn't give a shit? He's so unimpressed. He's like, oh, that's very impressive. I ought to show you what I can do with forced perspective. Listen.
I was going to put Higgs elbows Oscar and just says,
Nice one.
Okay. You go, and he closes his hand again, and the place shrinks back down to how it was, and he's just kind of looking at you like you are thick.
If your measure of self-worth is only a metric of who you believe is lower than you, then there's a problem.
We're not lower. No one is lower. It is simply that this is the place I
From
made.
where I'm looking, you're shorter than me.
Yeah, no, he is. Look, do you want to go home? Do you want to stay? What do you want to do? It is apparently not my job to fix your lives anymore.
Oh, I would say it is, considering what you did to us, and I don't picking know the answer to your question.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go home too, but I can't just leave this place behind knowing that it's still a mess, or that you're not okay, or that I don't know if Alex is going to be okay, or any of the others. I mean, I don't know. Is there anything we can do to help or make you feel better? I don't know. Do you want a hug?
Higgs has turned around and has started looking at like random shit in this like workshop or whatever it is.
Hey, Minty, roll insight.
Alright. Come on.
Please do good.
16. Okay.
Okay.
You've gotten good enough that, like, outwardly projecting, no, he doesn't want a hug. Why would he want a hug? Again, grumpy old man. Very grumpy old man. How dare you insinuate that he would want a hug? And then because, like, 1 point above 15, because you get that... You know, a hug wouldn't be too bad, he guesses. But he doesn't say anything. He's just kind of glaring.
Alright, Minty's just gonna give him a hug.
And that is the first contact he has had with another person in several hundred years.
Oh my god.
And yeah, because again, when you have a physical form, if you have just a fucking emotional form, but like touch-starvedness is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like he is gonna freeze up because this is supposedly unwanted touch, and he is gonna he'll take a second, and then he will just kind of melt into it a little bit, and then just kind of curl up with his head on your shoulder for a second, because you know what? Yeah, he wanted a hug.
Yeah, but he's gonna kind of hold him and like rub his back a little and just snuggle up to him, because I mean, this is pretty much what she was made for, to comfort people.
Oh boy. While this is happening, Engineer I really want to call him Engineer again. It's just so much easier. He really wants to be that again, so he's gonna have to try and formulate it. So yeah, he's taken off the cowboy hat and the cowboy coat, and he looks so much more like an engineer just in his waistcoat and rolled up sleeves, and he sort of does the pinching the bridge of his nose, whatever that counts as, on this guy's face. What a character design. He says, well, you need a lesson in humility, and I've certainly been receiving one, so I'm going to put that into practice. I would like to apply for the position as your temporary apprentice. I have some experience with machines. Would you consider it?
Hey, can I really quick, because I wanted to say this, but then sometimes I don't like to interrupt. I just want to say Higgs gave them that hug for about 5 seconds, and then he does like pop up behind and say, yeah, I should have warned you. This one's touchy.
Yes! Yeah, that preceded Engineer. That's so much funnier.
Yeah.
And then you can do your fun little heartfelt whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think then in that case, like, yeah, he will gently extract himself from the hug, Minty, and like he does kind of pat you on the shoulder a little bit. He does not acknowledge that you hugged him other than that. But yeah, back to glaring at the Engineer. And he kind of just looks you up and down, and he is thinking for a long moment. He's not someone that is necessarily fast to react, because he's got a lot of thoughts to think over. And finally, he just gives you a curt nod and holds out his hand for you to shake.
Well, you see, this is where you went wrong the first time. You didn't even put me through an interview. What is the matter with you?
I think he's kind of just going to kind of gesture towards like the entrance to this carriage and kind of generally at the rest of the train and going, interview enough?
Not really. I'm gonna have to talk to you about your processing of people I mean, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Processing people who are appropriate for the position of the job. I mean, I'll take it, but you're gonna have an earful from me every day about this.
And I think that is the point where we kind of just slowly zoom out, Engineer trying to chew this guy's ear off. I want to point out, you don't even know his name. But
names.
You're complaining about, oh yes, no, he doesn't vet anyone that wants an apprenticeship program. Again, you're applying for an apprenticeship with someone that you don't even fucking know anything about. So I think it goes both ways.
He knows that he needs an apprentice.
So I think he will kind of get you on that later. And I'm mostly doing this because I am looking at the time, and I think this is a point where I'm going to zoom out and do a bit of narration for a sec, because now you guys know that time isn't really a thing here. You will just go back to where you came from. Maybe it's not so bad to be on here for a bit longer, and you and, frankly, everyone else on the train is gonna get the offer to either go home or hang around and help out. And Engie, you are gonna be key with that, because you know how a proper train is meant to function. Because, like, while this guy knows plenty about the workings, in terms of, like, again, he's been at this for 1,000 years. Things are kind of updated, and you definitely have new ideas. And Minty, your help with therapy and everything, and actually knowing a lot more about that, means that creation of carriages can be a lot more personalized and, frankly, a lot more deadly. And Higgs...
Oh, absolutely. No, Minty 100% offers to stay on. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of act as OSHA and make sure there's fucking handrails on the stairs.
Oh, 100%. No, she's going through the whole, like, D list. Like,
yeah.
And access ramps. I cannot emphasize this enough.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys get to rework with that. And Higgs, if you choose, you can take a level in artificing here and actually help Appalachius, because that is his name. You can help Appa with rebuilding bits and pieces that have gotten broken, with finding out what the recovery carriage is meant to be properly about, and actually fully recycling various carriages. Because when you guys first start, you have so little to actually work with. While there are so many carriages, the amount of resources you have to work with is fuck all. So Higgs, if you choose, you can actually help out with finding the inner workings with that. And even if you don't want the artificing thing, you're still going to learn a lot more about, holy hells, this is, like, when this guy was saying he was a god, yeah, okay, he was a bit full of himself, but also this is powers that how the fuck did a mortal manage to get their hands on magic this powerful? And all of you get to help rebuild this shit. And every single one of the other passengers gets to have their part. They get to have a choice of having a bit of a talk with Minty and their friends and other people and getting to go home, or sticking around and helping rebuild this place until it's back to being functional. And that's gonna take time. It's gonna take a lot of time. But in the same way that when you're feeling really, really shitty, things in this place stretch out from months into years. You know what? When you're busy with a good thing, when you are busy repairing stuff, when you are busy working on new things, you can get a lot done in what feels like seconds. So you help, and the train gets fixed. And it was indeed Alex that Appa was working on there. And even though you guys do get to look in the engine and look at the mess that was caused, you also get to watch Alex stand on their own legs again, because they had legs at the beginning of all this, and it was Marinos that trapped him to a rail. And you get to watch brother get rescued from the recovery carriage and rebuilt as well. And bit by bit, and with a lot of hard work, things get better. And when you are ready, when you've done all the talking to whoever you need to, you're welcome to go home. And I think that is the end of the Neverending Train. Thank you all for playing.
Woo! Oh boy. Woo! You ran this for over a year.
Yep.
Holy cow.
A literal year.
Yep. This was episode 30. So I averaged just over a game every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Do you think could I do like a little epilogue Higgs scene?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because he had a lot of stuff that we didn't even get to.
Oh yeah, no.
Maybe someday you'll know. But I like to imagine a scene of him, I don't know, he's in a bed somewhere and some, like, the sun is streaming in and hits his eyes and he wakes up and kind of squints at it before rolling out of bed and kind of, rubbing the sleep out of his eyes. And he just goes over to like a mirror on the wall and he kind of like looks himself up and down. And it looks like for the first time in a while, he has something to really live for again. That's all.
Did anyone else have any last bits that they wanted to do?
I'll say that while he's working on the train, Engineer Oscar, like, he effectively doesn't really have a name. Like, he gets called various things like mechanic or fuzzy or whatever.
You will be labelled apprentice by Appa, and that is the only thing he will call you.
Yeah, I mean, he takes it. Like, he needs a lesson in humility. He's also going to give his boss one. Wow. Oh my goodness, he is such a pain in the ass to work with.
Oh, absolutely.
He works very hard. Like, he isn't pulling back, like, and he tries to learn as much as he can while he's here, because this is a golden opportunity, and he really always has loved this train. It's just an extraordinary thing. What an amazing creature. But of course, he eventually realizes with the amount of time he's spending here and the therapy, presumably he's getting some, like, actual proper stuff from Minty.
Oh, absolutely.
The reason he could never get his name back here is because he has to get it back out there. He can't get it back here. That's impossible.
So he does need to go and resume his normal life, no matter what that's going to involve.
And he's got a more important title that he has to earn, and that is the highest esteemed privilege of being called Train Dad.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Minty, how are you doing? Because, like, you wound up here after doubting your skills, after not being sure what you were doing. How's this helped?
Honestly, I think she's just been so in her element when she's been here, just getting back to helping people and being in a much more relaxed environment, just knocking it out of the park and really regaining her confidence. And when she's not either helping design the train or giving other people therapy, she's kind of acting as Appa's like emotional support buddy. Like, she'll just hang out with him in his workshop when she has free time and just like chat with him or just like
I would just like
next to him.
It will be more like chatting at him.
Exactly.
Because again, and there will be times he kind of yells at you to get out because he's working on stuff, but also don't go. He is inherently grumpy. No matter how much you therapize him, he will continue being a very grumpy old man.
No, that's completely valid. No, she's completely fine. Just hang out with him and just like chatter about nothing for hours, or just like next to him because she can tell he's very touch starved. So helping him out with that.
In theory, in the perfect world, put the epilogue thing at the end. But like, because now we're talking about on the train again. I'm curious, like, how in depth like Minty get with everybody else. Does she still talk to Higgs? Like, what's?
Oh, of course, yeah. No, I think she might like just have a schedule for like when she sees people, like, for just straight up therapy.
Maybe the three of us meet up in the hot chocolate carriage once in a while.
Oh, 100%. No, when we have time, we definitely meet up and like say like how we're doing, what we've been working on, and just chat. Not even like full on therapy, just like friendly chat, just hanging out with each other.
Kit, I will DM you something after we're done here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, eyes emoji.
Interesting.
Hello, yeah.
I will say during all this, there is plenty of time for absolutely everyone else who played passengers on the train to do whatever you want, if it is appropriate in the train, if you want to interact with each other, if you want to hang out in the hot chocolate carriage, if you want to help, if you just want to go the peck home. This is your chance to do that. I am going to tell you, as much as you three are going to likely be staying here as long as you possibly can, if anything, Tatters seems like she wants to stay even more, but there is always that little bit of she is staying because she doesn't want to lose the chance to be with her new friends.
Right.
But
I mean, Engineer's gonna emphatically, like, keep reminding Tatters to come to Dodo Studios when they finally get out of here, because, like, please.
She will. She promises that she will. But yeah, this is it. This is the end of the train.
That was amazing.
Oh boy.
Oh wow.
Can we establish in canon that Engineer has given Higgs his business card?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay,
It never happened.
Absolutely.
And I'm like,
No, that's definitely happened now. I mean, surely.
I mean, I had a plan for if it didn't happen, but...
Yeah. Also, for those who've been listening to all of the games very carefully, you'll have noticed that in some other games, I mentioned that the engineer had a sketchbook and lost it, and is really kind of like, where the hell is that? And Minty has that now. So hopefully one day they can reunite, he'll have it, and then be like, what are all these notes about this really weird train? What? Why does this feel so familiar?
See, because like the really fun thing is there's every chance that you guys probably like mechanically leveled up a whole bunch on this train from the amount of work that you did in various levels, and then because when you leave, everything kind of vanishes into a dream haze. That's all kind of gonna go, and you are just gonna resume how you were before.
I did want to ask, actually, like, how much do we remember? Because obviously we probably remember, like, how to solve, like, the problems we came there for initially, and we forget pretty much all our friends, but, like, how much do we remember that there was a train, even if it's really vague?
I think, you may get kind of flashes of deja vu at times. You don't remember necessarily there was a train. Maybe you kind of vaguely remember the feel of some of the carriages that you were on. But, like, the more you try and focus of, oh, gods, when was I there, sort of thing, the more it fades. It's kind of a protective thing. I will say, Minty, because you have the sketchbook and the notebook and everything, there's probably some fun stuff that may happen there, but you get this feeling every time you look at it, every time you look at the drawings and the notes and everything, and there's something there that you should remember that you can't remember what it was. But... at this point in time, that's it. The more you focus on, the more things feel like dreams. But if you ever, like, meet anyone that you've met on the train before, it's that feeling of fast friendship of, oh yeah, I've known you all my life sort of thing. So, but specific memories, that it was a train, why you were there, how long you're on it, nope, I'm sorry.
Like,
that's okay. I just want to make sure, like, what the parameters were for that, pretty much.
No,
that's kind. I was wondering too.
Yeah, I was gonna.
I know I've said it over text a couple of times, but I'm stating it in an episode now. Sorry, Mop. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was just gonna say that after this, when like it's the kind of thing where Higgs just like starts noticing like Engineer's movie posters out of the corner of his eye like more often because it's technically a familiar face.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
Yes, that's
And he's
perfect.
just like, who is this? Why does he keep following me? Like, why am I suddenly noticing this person? Like, what?
Also, I have to put a shout out to Colin because for those who are wondering, like, the whole thing with the Yakuza, the engineer has been trying to, like, figure out ways of, tackling that problem. And it's so frustrating because he knows he met a detective and he needs to hire a detective. And he's like, I can't even think of what he looked like. Oh, I know he was short. But he's probably gonna have to find someone else. But yeah.
Well, there's plenty of time for that as you three continue on with their lives. For now, do you guys all want to say goodbye as I close off the recording?
Goodbye.
So, yeah.
What a privilege to have played the last game.
Thank you so much for running this game. You're such a freaking powerhouse on this server.
Absolutely.
Thank you three for being amazing players.